Hey, Parlay Pete, we're live. Don't say anything that'll get us canceled.
I can't promise you anything.
All right, so I didn't tell you this, but I think we should start the show the same way we started pre-production.
Go on.
Oh, I was gonna ask you the same question that I asked you in pre-production to start the show.
Yeah, go for it.
No,
What?
I didn't think you were gonna. I didn't think you were gonna humor me.
I, I'm here to. Look, everybody else has to know what the question is. I already know what the question is, just like I already know the answer.
Well, here's the thing. I think everybody out there who doesn't know the question knows the answer, so they don't really gain anything from us discussing it.
So, do you just want to rhetorically ask it?
No,
Okay.
no. I think asking the question does the same thing as answering it.
It does, because the question's
On a
only
public,
asked. Yeah, it's only asked in order for everybody to just have that in their head and say, "Well, no."
and the idea of having the private conversation, right, is for selected individuals in the public, and it doesn't matter who the public is, right? Don't get privy to how you feel about this or can prove that you said this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's one of those, if you ask it, you've already said it. Because why would you
Right.
have to ask it?
Well, right. It's kind of like everybody uses this as the biggest cliche. He's like, and the sky is blue. Even though tonight is supposed to be red.
And hey, but think about this. In our private conversation, we don't say the sky is blue. We say other things.
No.
But we won't say it here. 5 minutes, 2 minutes in.
I just think that, again, it's one of those things where when the question's asked, it's answered.
Oh, kind of like, is the WNBA strike going to work?
Well, I would counter a question like that and say, well, is the WNBA profitable? Both of them give you the same answer. Because that when you answer a question with the question, it typically is to
deflect.
It could answer itself,
Well, some would say the league is profitable to some people. Now, probably not the owners, probably not the television partners, probably not the arenas. The arenas, they end each year in the black. But those WNBA, that really messes up the margins. Unless Caitlin Clark is in town. If you think about it, it's the players. Well, maybe the players and the coaches. Well, the coaches probably make less than the players. Yeah, they probably, the coaches are the ones who probably should really consider getting a day job, not the basketball players. We don't talk about the fourth assistant on the, a shitty NBA assistant doesn't get paid well.
He still lives all right, though.
Yeah. Now imagine being like the end of the bench, back row if they have one WNBA team.
Well, you're a glorified water girl at that point, or water boy.
I mean, a $16,000
a year
for
at that point.
I mean, yeah, you might have another job during the season.
Yeah, that's your night job. Then you have your day job.
Yeah, like you might be driving Uber. It's not like anybody knows you.
Right. And you can get away with it, You can get away with doing other jobs, unlike that New York police officer, which I'm sure Did you see that, by the way? I mean, I know we're not in culture.
Yeah. No. Let's stay here because we're not going to remember that at the back end of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of back end.
Hey, hot tub, basketball court, tennis court, you name it. It was all in the backyard.
Oh yeah. I mean, you talk about a state-of-the-art masterpiece crafted by some of the best landscapers in this country, maybe in the world, because that backyard may have been imported.
It's fine ingenuity. Damn fine ingenuity. I just think it's kind of crazy that it actually really, this is a question just in general. Is what you do on your off time, should that dictate your job? Even if I know that you're a representation of something, but if you're not doing anything illegal.
Depends on your job. And I think when you start talking about public servants, I think there are more constraints that you can put on them. I don't think they're necessary for the person to be able to do their job in a vacuum. But I do think because we've built up a certain public perception for careers, that it doesn't play well to do these things publicly. Like, hey, if she wants to shake ass, scantily clad, cool. But to put it in a video, I don't know.
Is it because it is sexualized? It's sexualization, basically. I mean,
sexualization.
That's really the issue here.
Sexualization as an SVU cop, being in a rap video as a cop. He may not be doing anything illegal, but the perception. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't think that she thought it through at all. But I just guess, did that warrant her to lose her job? Why couldn't that have been like a warning?
I don't know their policy, and I don't know what other things she may have done leading up to this, or whether or not she had been warned, or whether or not she asked for permission and was told no, and she still did it. Like I don't know enough.
Context matters. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know enough to say that she should have lost her job, but I would be okay if the New York Police Department said, "Hey, we don't want any of our police officers to appear in any type of media without our sign-off."
That's fair.
I mean, because in the military, there are certain topics we didn't talk about because I could have gotten in trouble for that based on the military's rules. I'm sure there are some clips on here that they could go find and try to say that I was violating the military social media policy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why you never saw me in military stuff on my social media while I was in, because.
But then it also kind of gets into freedom of speech. You could go down. It's a rabbit hole for sure. But
when you work for the government, you sacrifice some of those rights when you take that oath and sign that paper. They're rights as a citizen, but that doesn't mean I have to employ you if you want to execute some of those rights.
Right.
I mean, you can't have a gun on a military base. I mean, you can, but it has to be registered. There's a process.
Right.
Like, you just can't.
Sounds like you were working for Vince McMahon.
I don't think it was that toxic.
Well, not literally. I'm on-screen Vince McMahon. How about that? He'd fire a lot of ass. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, Stone Cold obviously was getting away with it, but
I wasn't good enough at the military to get away with stuff like that. I was good enough to hang out. Fall in line, nigga.
You sound like Triple H.
Hey. Okay, we've gone too far. Is the WNBA strike going to work? I think that's how we can close out that topic and not even hit it later.
Again, I ask you, is the WNBA profitable? The answer to that question answers it really does. It answers that question because you can't strike from something that doesn't make money. But if it makes money, you can strike, and it'll work.
Angel Reese thinks that they should be paid like NBA players, and a much more refined, polished spokesperson for the WNBA said a year ago when we talked about this is that it's not about the money in dollars, it's about the profit shares. excuse me, the revenue split. Excuse me, the revenue split.
Yeah, and I get it. It's a subsidiary of the NBA,
So
but
there's
that's its
revenue.
own. Yeah, but that's its own thing. And so just because you have revenue doesn't mean you make money. I mean, I think we all know this, right?
Well, just because Def Jam South is burning through money because none of the artists are working, doesn't mean Def Jam proper is gonna hurt big picture. Like, we just cut out the South Division. We'll just roll up the good artists into regular Def Jam.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, they can't do something like that. But
they can go to Unrivaled.
You know, Jason Whitlock said something real important about that too. He wondered who signed off on that to put that on TV. He's like, we don't need another women's league. It's basically what he said.
It's good basketball.
Yeah, but isn't that what the WNBA is supposed to be too?
Yeah, but the women want to play basketball during basketball season.
Sure.
And they want to compete with the WNBA with the actual NBA that struggles to turn a good American number on a night to night. I know they turn a decent number, but like the NBA is not turning.
It takes Celtics versus Lakers. I have no idea what Celtics Thunder got, but it takes those type of games in order for them to really get those numbers up.
Yeah. And you want to compete, so you want to play you want to play a women's basketball game on Friday at 8:00 while the ESPN game is on.
While the ESPN game is on, while grown men and women are getting ready to go out.
While we might already be out.
Yeah, well, and maybe they're trying to set it up to be that is the date night move, right?
What?
To go to their game.
They're all in Miami.
Well, if you're in Miami.
They rented out a gym in Miami and they play there.
You know what's pretty sad about that? Might be the worst place they've done that. I mean, nobody cares about sports in Miami, period.
Well, maybe the financial backers want to see their product and they want an excuse to be in Miami during the winter.
Sounds like a fucking tax write-off to me, Lee.
I mean, what is the WNBA?
That's what that is for the NBA for sure.
Hey, and here's the crazy thing. People would think that we don't like women's basketball.
That's the furthest thing from the truth.
We just understand TV and money.
Business in general.
The WNBA is a bad TV show, even if you like it. Because at the end of the day, TV shows are judged on ratings. Some of my favorite shows got canceled after a season or two. And I thought they were good shows, but not enough people did.
Give me an example of one of those shows, Lee. I'm just curious.
Rosewood. It was a what's that? Morris Chestnut was in it. Some really nice looking Hispanic lady. And they had like this budding romance thing. He was like a criminal pathologist, but he didn't work for like the Miami PD. She worked for Miami PD. He didn't work for them, but he could like do certain things that the cops couldn't do, and then give them the information. It was just a good old cop TV show, and I liked it. And well, it did get to stay.
I can't say. I can't say I've ever heard of it. Fox, CBS.
It's one of those majors. I used to watch it on Hulu, so I don't remember which network it was on, and that was Hulu a long time ago. Because you know those they have their media rights deals too, but it may have been a Fox show.
Probably Hulu typically has. I mean, they have ABC too, but like I don't know. I've always felt like Hulu was like a Fox thing, low key.
Did you watch White Famous with Jay Farrow?
No, I'm not a TV person.
That's right.
I even though I will say this, Netflix literally announced like my two favorite shows within the last couple of days, giving us release dates, which are going to be next month. I like You. You was a show that I really got into, and then Black Mirror. They dropped the trailer for Black Mirror today, and I love Black Mirror. I like anthologies and stuff like that.
Okay. It was on USA.
That's probably why I never heard of
it. Is that still a network?
Well, they got to be getting ready to plummet after losing Monday Night Raw to Netflix. I couldn't tell you what's on USA Network.
I can't tell you which cable networks really exist that much because I don't watch linear cable TV unless I'm watching sports. I don't even really watch sports shows on TV. What's the podcast going?
Well, it's much more of a YouTube thing at this point.
Yeah. The worst thing that happened to cable was allowing YouTube to go on the television easily. Like AirPlay is one thing, but that's work. Then you got to like expose your phone. And most of us don't be wanting to expose our phones like that and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
But in a weird way, that's why your Hulus of the world, they're almost like, I'm not going to say like syndication, but like,
yeah.
When Atlanta was out, I never watched Atlanta on FX at Thursday at whatever time it came on, like 9 or whatever time. I watched it the very next day on Hulu. Like,
I mean, that's me with SVU. It's probably on right now or just went off. I'll watch it on Peacock when I get home from work tomorrow.
You a big fan of SVU?
Seen every episode.
Wow.
Season
now, is this the SVU with Ice-T?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seasons probably 1 through 18. I've probably seen each episode 2 or 3 times.
Is it crazy that he might be more known for that really than his rap career?
I mean, same with Will Smith.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, it's a little different just in a sense of because Will Smith has a Grammy for best.
Yeah.
Like album.
You don't think rapper when you think Will Smith?
No, that's not the first thing I think. I definitely think movie star. But like,
think about Ice-T's older too. Like, we didn't hear an Ice-T song. We still heard some mainstream Will Smith rap. Getting Jiggy with It. Just the Two of Us. We're going straight to the Wild Wild West.
Men in Black.
But
see, and that's the other part though. He incorporated his movies with the music. So like,
Ice-T can't do movies because he can't act.
They get him from Ant-Man commercials though.
Because he got that stupid voice.
Well, he's an investigator. But he's really a gangster rap artist.
Name an Ice-T song.
I can't.
So, and I think that's what's hard for us. We weren't around.
I know who Ice-T's wife is.
Coco?
Yeah.
those cocoa melons.
Hey now.
Like the hey, say now. Look at this.
Yeah. What's his stream number on there? Like his monthly listeners?
I'm on Apple. I don't use that peasantry.
Oh, excuse me.
He dropped us. He was in a song that came out in November.
Yeah, but what type of play was it getting?
I don't know. It's let's see. Give it a listen. I bet this is bad. This beat's bad. Okay, we're done here.
This is new.
Came out in November.
You know,
okay,
I'll tell you the one.
Here we go.
I'll tell you the one Ice-T song I do know. He's got the Soulja Boy disc.
That don't count.
In the morning, police at my door. Fresh Adidas squeak across the bathroom floor. Out my back window. Didn't even get a chance to grab my old school tape.
Yeah, bro, we don't remember that rap. We didn't listen to that rap.
Yeah,
that's like the worst thing of hip hop, bro.
Yeah, would you call it like Disney's? What do they call that era for Disney? The silver era or whatever they call it. Really, the dark ages, if we want to keep it real. But
yeah, all that old 80s rap shit. Even some of the early 90s, it was trash. Like they were good rappers. Don't get it twisted. Like their ability to put words together, but the beats, the flows, the patterns, it's just not appealing to the ear, you know. Some people like Applebee's. I don't judge people for liking Applebee's.
Yeah, you should.
But don't invite me if we're going for food. Don't invite me before they do the dollar beers or $3 fucking Henny margaritas and the half off apps. If you invite me to Applebee's before those hours, the answer is always no. And if you invite me to Applebee's during those hours, if I have something better to do or stay at home, I'll probably do that. Unless there's some yada means in there. That's different.
Right. Hookup price.
Come on, man. Like, Pete, hold on. Where is the closest Applebee's in the city? Camp Creek? Isn't it one down there?
You know, it's funny. I was just over there not that long ago. Probably that would probably either there or, Thornton Road.
Yeah.
Maybe Thornton Road area, just because there's so many dealerships and stuff, and it's like one of those areas. So maybe. I highly doubt. I mean, there could be one by a mall, like not Lennox, but maybe by there could be one in Cobb over there, maybe.
There probably is one by Cumberland.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there is one by Cumberland. It's about a battery.
Yeah.
Beyonce's butt looks fake in the Levi's commercial.
Looks nice.
Didn't say it looked bad. I mean, I'm not complaining. But yeah, Applebee's, they don't really exist in real cities. They're definitely a suburban thing or a country thing.
Yeah, I mean, but that's their target audience.
What, the poors?
Bring out the family for a little neighborhood grill.
Can we at least do Longhorn?
Longhorn started here in Atlanta.
I didn't know that, but I'd much rather I feel like Applebee's isn't even a family dinner. That's like taking your family to a Falcons preseason game and sitting in the 300s. Let's just save up a little bit more.
that's what I was trying to tell you. Actually, it's funny because we kind of spoke on Applebee's earlier this week, but
Oh yeah.
because I had said I didn't remember the last time I had went, and
Yeah,
then I was like,
yeah,
well, me and Mr. Turner went
yeah.
to get drinks.
We don't have to contextualize it.
Well, but I'm just saying why you would ever go to Applebee's. AAU teams are hitting Applebee's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, outside of when I first moved to Albany, I did hit Applebee's a lot on the weekends. A lot of Sundays, Applebee's, like coming back from the Falcons games. There would just be people there.
Well, the
It's like
game's
the
on.
bar. Well, no, it's just people there at the bar. The game is on, but that's not what they're there for. So yeah, but yeah, no. All right, we've talked enough about nothing, man. How you doing today?
Wait, you went out for a second. What'd you say?
I said we've talked long enough about nothing. How are you doing today?
We're doing fantastic. You know, had a little internet issue here. Obviously, well, we got started a little bit later than we should have, but we're doing pretty good. How are we doing on that end?
Oh man, not too bad, not too bad. Just out here trying to make $1 in a dream, support the community, make myself better as a man. I'm chilling.
That's good. That's good. You sound like Paul George.
Talking about the guy who's done playing basketball for the year.
Yeah, that
Easiest
guy.
$50 million he's ever made.
Well, you could say that. You could say the biggest maybe mistake of a signing ever. I can't really think of one where maybe Russell Wilson, I guess, to the Broncos too. Like,
I'm not gonna give that to Paul yet. That's crazy.
shit.
Pause. I can't even just get away with that's crazy. I gotta pause that. But I gotta see year 2 because if he does have work done on especially his knee, it gives me another year to say, okay, something happened. Let's see what it looks like when he's healthy.
I don't think that they're going to want another a year or two, though. That's the issue.
Well, I mean, he's on the block. I mean, somebody's gonna. I mean, he's gonna play somewhere next year. If the Hawks
I don't know if we
give
get somebody to bite.
How do you match
that is the new Brad Bill contract, literally.
How do you match the salaries?
Well, again, unfortunately for the Sixers, they're going to have to give away draft capital to get off of it, I think.
Maybe trade for LaMelo Ball if they get a Cooper Flag.
Well, Paul George is too similar to Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
Think about it, that was literally his comp. That was low key like his comp. And Brandon Miller was playing well before he got hurt, but
trade him for Zion.
I don't think you're going to be able to get that quality of a player. I mean, Zion, when healthy, is a good player. Like, it's not like he's not a good player. Paul George is old, overpaid, injury prone. I mean, give me what are the pluses of Paul George at this point? He's better than Klay Thompson. You know what I mean? Like, he's still better than guys like that. But like,
I don't want to. I got to see him healthy. If he's healthy next year, he's still better than Kyle Kuzma.
I don't know.
He's better than Kyle.
I don't see in what world anyone trades for that.
The Lakers are definitely grabbing their ankles today.
What's the score?
179 with 2:35 left in the third.
Who's doing it?
Garvin.
Because when I spoke on the phone with Mr. Turner, he had actually had a bet in where he took Giannis to get X amount of points, and he only had 6 in the first half.
Luka had 29 in the first half. Efficient. Let me see what Giannis is doing. Because, I mean, Giannis is about to hit the bench for the rest of the game.
I was about to say, give us
Got nothing. This guy's disappeared on me. He's frozen.
You said I'm frozen?
Yeah, you were.
Oh.
Giannis has 18, 7 for 15. Okay. Luka has 38, 12 for 23, 6 for 12 from 3, 11 assists, 11 rebounds, 2 assists.
What's Kyle Kuzma doing in the Middleton role tonight?
1 for 6, 2 points.
Okay.
0 for 1 for 3, 4 rebounds, 2 fouls.
So Dame Lillard must be going to town.
Brook Lopez.
20.
Brook Lopez has 19 on 7 for 8. And Dame has 17 on 4 for 8. And Dame also has 10 assists.
Okay.
Kevin Porter Jr. has 21 on 10 shots. He's getting off.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah. Well,
like from watching the game, it looked like Kevin Porter was getting off. Just because I just kept seeing him with the ball and scoring. And then you look at the box score, you go, okay, yeah. Yeah, nah, Kevin Porter's a good basketball player, though.
He's kind of a head case, too, though.
Not speaking to the person, speaking to the guy's ability to put the ball in the bucket.
You know, it's funny, though, because it was like domestic violence with him because he missed like basically almost like a whole year because of that.
Yeah, he missed a year. Then he went overseas for a little while. And he came back this year.
That's good.
I don't think if you own a business and somebody can provide value for your business and you're okay accepting the character risk, I'm okay with you accepting the character risk.
Everybody deserves a second chance, too. We know that that's not afforded to everybody, but I think people deserve a second chance.
I mean, think about this. People get in an uproar about like people in the limelight, right? In the public eye, who may be domestic violence, whatever it is. It's like he gets another chance. But niggas will go to church and follow a convicted felon to heaven. I'm not saying neither should fill the role, but one seems a lot less consequential than the other.
Well, it depends on how you want to spin it, because some could say that convicted felon is actually the right person to talk to because he has messed up. And, he knows what it's like to be at the bottom and how God can lead you out, right?
I think that's the healthy spin to look at it, but others would say,
it's a testimony.
This guy is a felon. Why are we following him? I'm not trying to go to the chain gang. But a guy who beats up on his woman, who I don't think domestic violence is okay by no means. Like, I don't think violence is okay, bro. Don't hit people. Grow up. Have some emotional control. But what does that have to do with him putting the ball in the bucket? Maybe he doesn't sell as many jerseys.
Lee, you're going to have a lot of people that disagree with you on that one.
I know there are a lot of people that disagree with me on that one. And I'm okay with them disagreeing. I'm okay with them feeling that way. I understand why they feel that way. I'm just not a moralist. I ain't saying he's gonna watch my kid, or I want him to date my daughter. You know, not my actual daughter because my daughter's 2. Okay, just for the weirdos. But
tongue in cheek.
Yeah, I ain't saying that. But he can he can put a new carburetor in my truck. He can go to the NBA and hoop. He can go sack the quarterback.
Right. It's his job.
Yeah.
And he can do it well.
You know what, though? I have no idea. I just wanted to say that.
Some people could look at it and say, he doesn't deserve that privilege.
And I would say you don't deserve the privilege to say that because you don't own a team. More importantly, you don't run the league because 29 owners can say he doesn't deserve to be in our league. And one can say, well, I want him on my team. Come on. Now, if Silver doesn't want him in the league, that's different. Hold on. This Hyundai commercial I just saw was really weird. It had like a priest in the confessional booth, whatever they call that thing, making a weird face. But like, I'm not really watching the iPad and I can't hear it. So I have no context of why he was making that face, but I never want to see a fat, balding, old white man as a Catholic priest making an uncomfortable face in the confessional.
To sell a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see it, period. I mean, because he could be in the confessional, right, on the other side talking to another priest, and they just be in there gossiping.
About how good, how many miles they're getting on that thing per gallon.
Yeah,
how spacious it is.
Brand new, fresh off the lot, never been touched. I'm the first person to drive this bad boy.
Never been touched, huh? That is crazy to say when it comes to a priest.
I thought the better one was I was the first one to drive this bad boy. I think that's some of my best work right there.
I mean, look, it's a slam dunk.
I mean, you think of the entendres, bad boy to bad bitch. I don't even want to break it down because I've been a rapper, dog. I could have been one of them rappers that only my fans like.
Paperboy?
No, because he's a fake rapper. I want to be at least compared to like what's my man's name whose verse we always skip on Control?
Jay Electronica?
Yeah.
Jay Elect kills that shit. I skipped Big Sean's verse.
That's crazy. Big Sean killed that shit.
I thought Jay Elect killed it.
I've only heard his verse once, maybe twice.
But but I get your point in terms of him having his
he has his fans, and if you're not one of his fans, you probably don't listen to him.
Yeah.
I listen to you remember the Jay Elect album that we can't find anymore?
Yeah.
Is that shit still streaming?
I'm sure it is, but
that's the last time we really heard Jay-Z rap.
That's like the last time Jay-Z rapped on an album.
Yeah. I'm saying like the last time we really heard him rap, like body of work, just rapping.
What's the song on there? I think Ghost of Soldier Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says some stuff on there, but
I'm probably gonna give it a listen tonight.
then the one with Travis Scott too. Before it gets to Travis Scott, how it opens up.
Uh-huh.
I want Jay to just give us one more album.
Me too.
Just one more, seriously, and let
Like,
it be known that it's the last one. Like that way,
I want him.
we'll know.
I want him to give us the. I want him to like close it out. You know, I want him to talk about the 90s to now. You know what I mean? Like, take all of your albums, because the one great thing about Jay is he talks about where he's at in life and his music. Like, turn all of those albums into one double disc. I want a double disc.
20 tracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you
Not
know
only
what it sounds like. What it sounds like you want. It sounds like you want him to make his The Life of Pablo, because that's kind of what Kanye did. He had elements, it felt like, of all of his albums up until that point on one album, kinda. He had made some of his older, like No More Parties in LA's and Real Friends is more college dropout-y ish.
That's Kanye's best. That's his best album.
Really?
Best isn't the right word. It is
His album with the most range, maybe?
it's better than that. It's like it's the culmination of Kanye the musical genius. It's the gospel, it's the backpack rap, it's the song that can work in the club, it's the some of the introspective stuff, it's the flexing, it's the controversy with the Taylor Swift. It's like, and like sonically, and just I think that is his best produced album. It's the best display of Kanye the musical genius. There we go.
It's probably the last time he was happy.
Sure.
Because think about it, he had just married. He was with Kim.
Yeah, he was happy with Kim then.
Yeah, he was, but that was like at the beginning of like their marriage, kind of.
Yeah, that was wow. Really opened it up.
And that was kind of the start of the Yeezy clothing, because how he like the listening party he had at Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
Little Yachty's like one of the fucking models and shit. Like it was an event.
It was. Side note, I'm just seeing this Sanaa Lathan thing that you sent. She is beautiful.
Yeah, that's why I had to go ahead and shoot it over to you.
She's just a beautiful woman.
And she's got to be, what, mid-50s?
Probably.
Stone cold.
We're opening up bro, we've already opened up a culture hour, so we might as well just keep it in the culture.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling up to see if there's anything culture that really matters here before we just go to Steve. Oh, how did you like about that one rump roast I sent you yesterday? I'm gonna send it again. Just fresh on your brain.
Let me revisit. Hold on, I'm about to turn my camera off. Hold on.
Oh no, he turned off his camera. Let's see.
I don't know what the fuck you just sent me. But
that's what I was talking about.
What you just sent?
Yeah, on IG. Yeah, I sent it to you yesterday, but you were tied up.
I don't know what the hell this is.
It's terrible, isn't it?
What in the fuck, actually?
You like it?
I mean, well, low key, ew.
Yeah, this is kind of nasty.
Yeah, low key, ew.
Do you want to talk Steve or do you want to talk?
Well, wait.
Just
You don't want to.
hilarious.
I'm looking at this other stuff you have here. You don't want to do this future thing real quick?
Sure, we can hit that one. Talk about the stupid broad saying Future is her cheapest John.
Yes.
He only gives her 15 or 20K for a visit. I mean, gorgeous doll. I mean, she's gorgeous.
She's hot. Yeah, I was gonna say she is hot, but
I'm not paying $20,000 for your presence. Because if I can pay $20,000 for a beautiful floozy's presence, there's a poor version of you somewhere.
there's that, and then more importantly, I don't understand. I tell you what. Let me not say I don't understand. I would not, if I was making that kind of money, be paying for sex like that.
I don't think it's paying for sex. I think it is paying for consistency with individuals that you are attracted to without having to hear what the fuck they have to say.
It's a no for me, dog.
From Four Brothers.
Hey, I get it. Yeah, you're not paying her. You're paying her to leave. But
Yeah. Think about it, right? It's a chick you kind of rock with. You meet her, she's attractive.
You think Chris Brown pays for pussy?
I think he spends money on. I think he's paid to have a good time. Like, let's be real. We spend money on women, and it's
in
not
different
for
ways.
sex. Yes, it is not for sex. But some guys would say some of the things that we do or have done is tricking. Because it's like you go to a nice restaurant with a girl, well, you pay for it. And you pay for the night out. But you're not paying for that stuff to have sex with her. You are paying for your lifestyle, and you just want her to be a part of your lifestyle for that point in time.
Sure.
Now, I'm not giving you cold hard cash. But if I take a girl to a game, if I take a girl to a concert, the concert ticket may cost a couple $100. I'm not buying that to have sex with you. I want to go to this concert, and I want you to come with me. Hey. But I'm not necessarily paying. I'm not buying this just for you to have sex with me. Because for me, it's like, I got to enjoy your company before I spend money.
Right.
Once I enjoy your company, I'll spend the money if I have it, you know. But it's not because, fuck you. It's just because this is what I want to do, and I want you to do it.
I guess just getting called out for that, and I don't know, her feeling like it's empowering because I guess clearly there's other men that spend more than that on her.
But doesn't that make Future look more player?
Which is fucking crazy, but
doesn't that make Future look more player?
Not if she's making it sound like he's not really one of them.
If he's spending less, but he's getting the access, the same access these other niggas are getting, that's still player.
Sure. I think all in all it's silly. I mean, even if I had it, I don't know, man.
But you don't play in those waters either.
I don't, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. And maybe I'd have to be there to see it and just really know how this stuff operates. But
if you played in those waters, I ain't saying you would spend that much money, But you'd have to spend money because that's the admission fee. That's
Right.
covered.
And maybe they know that going into it.
Exactly.
They have to.
So
they have to know that going into it.
Exactly. So if Future knows that, because hey, her cover charge might be 25. Her internal cover charge, which I still can't imagine dropping $25,000, $15,000 for a woman's presence.
$1,000.
Yeah, nah, I ain't doing it.
You can go to
Hold on. If Lori Harvey was an escort and you could get her for $1,000 for the night, would you do it?
if that package comes with everything, I mean, yeah, of course.
So you would do it. You would spend $1,000.
She's not a good example.
Because why? You're thinking about being seen at the steakhouse with her. So your rate goes up. Are you thinking about the business opportunities that could be linked to her last name?
Possibly.
Are you thinking about just that she's just known as one of the, she's a wish list girl. I got Lori Harvey on my wish list.
And guess what? She never picked up Meek's calls.
I don't think he got the number. I think he was dialing from the Instagram inbox.
Oh, he was left on red.
Yo, that's nasty work right there. Calling the chick on Instagram. Yo, that's nasty work.
Meek could say that he had prime Nicki Minaj though.
And I bet that travels. That travels.
Yeah.
He'll never be hurt. He'll never be hurt to get his rocks off because Nicki Minaj has way too many fans. And then the women who are in the know, right? Like, oh, he bagged Nicki. What's up with this dirty ass Philly nigga? He might be onto something with his stupid ass tweets.
Yeah.
Meek is a prime example of that tweet that Charlamagne put out a while back about, one of the worst parts about being an adult is you don't know what class everybody is in. You know how in school you're divided, and the people who are in the other classes, there's a clear line.
Right.
In the real world, you don't know. Unless the syndrome is down and the ass is up.
I think you said this about Little Baby. That he's the type of guy that have one teacher all day.
All 4 years.
I think Meek might have been right there next to him in class, carving out into the desk and chair.
Not really understanding why the bell rings every 90 minutes. What's that noise up there?
He just knows that after the second bell, I get to go to lunch.
I got the whole cafeteria to myself.
Right.
It's our class. At my school, they were nice. Because, like you had Stevenson, maybe not Mount Vernon, a little bit different there.
Yeah.
At Stevenson, you may have had a teammate in your grade who had classes on a different hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Lil Baby and Meek, right? But
yeah,
my high school would at least let them come out during class change and be in the hallway and go back.
So they could conversate and
so they can feel normal, but all of us, we actually in the hallway because we gotta go across the school or down the hall.
Right, I have to go to my locker and switch out books.
Yeah. Your books are in the cubby over there.
Meanwhile, you're saying Meek and Lil Baby, they had all their books in their book bag. And, they had that heavy ass book bag, the book bag that had everything in it.
Yeah. Because once they get to class, they got a cubby with their name on it. Meek. Lil Baby.
Niggas were, and look, hey, they're where they're at now, but niggas were, beating on the table and shit while in that class.
I'm in the class. I don't really like school. All right, bro. I hear you. I hear you. We know you don't like school.
I wouldn't either if I was on your schedule. It's not normal.
Bro, I'm not gonna hold you. I really dislike hearing certain people talk. Like even Young Thug. He speaks the language so poorly.
I'm trying to think. Is there anyone that's really annoying to hear talk? Because you're just like, God, what is he saying?
Lil Baby.
He's gotten a lot better though, honestly. Like he did one for like fucking like what's it called? Something Digest.
Reader's Digest.
It's another one though. It's like almost like Real Estate Digest or some shit. They came to his like crib, and I mean, he seems like he's actually gotten better in terms of.
So here's the thing about Lil Baby. I don't think the brain function is a problem with him. I think he was just one of them ones who didn't go to a lot of school early on and was just behind. But he knows what he knows. He just don't know how to speak it. I think Meek is actually a well-spoken individual. He just ain't pulling from nothing up there. Bro, you remember the Morehouse niggas who could get up there and use all the Morehouse words while giving prayer at Crown Forum. They up there giving the speech and stuff, but they're not saying anything. They just using big words.
Yeah.
And then you meet niggas like us who just speak regular who speak regular talk. And the conversation, very deep, very layered, high level conversation. But you hear some motherfuckers, some goddamn, some son of bitches, some slurs. You're just hearing people speak regular.
Yeah.
And on the outside, look at this dumbass nigga over here. No, listen. See, that's Lil Baby. Meek, northern nigga. It sounds good. But what are you saying? Hey, who can tell me, hey, do they got internet over there in Africa? Or no, how they listen to my music in Africa?
I don't know, me. They get on the app that streams it. YouTube. I tell you what, how do you listen to your music if you want to? How would you do it?
I'd hope that you don't listen to much of it after you make it.
Well, more importantly, why are you addressing an entire continent?
Meek.
It'd be one thing if you were talking about a specific country, right?
Mm-hmm.
You literally just addressed, 50, 60 nations.
Bro, that's why I hate hip hop. A lot of hip hop, like so much of hip hop is dumb. A lot of high school dropouts. A lot of people who've never worked 9-to-5 jobs and lived conventional lives. You're talking about multi generations of like project people. And then they get this money, and then like they get linked up with some good investors, so they keep getting richer. And then they want to like talk to the world and explain things. Like, I'm listening to Joe Budden and them yesterday, and I'm telling you, bringing Dr. Lamont Hill, Morehouse College dropout, on there is one of the a great thing, because they actually have somebody who's not dumb. And I'm not saying they're dumb. They're not actually dumb. They're intelligent human beings, but they've just acquired a bunch of knowledge that they just lack knowledge in certain areas, right? And he was saying there needs to be a law against false sexual allegations, which there is, but it needs to be more heavily enforced. And then Mark was like, well, you know what happens, like rich and powerful men would then use that law to their advantage, because they would do things to women who can't fight the legal battle. They'd beat them in court and then turn back around, and now they're getting locked up. So actual victims, that will actually silence victims. I don't think it takes a doctor to have to tell you that. I think once you think that thought out loud, you should go, well, hold on. Rape victims already don't speak up enough. That's why Me Too was such a big thing. Now, we may be overcorrected, but we don't ever want to put something into place that is going to scare a victim from getting the justice they deserve. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm sorry. Bro, you know I hate black media.
You know, here was one other thing we didn't talk culture.
Mainstream black media.
And it falls in line with this mainstream black media and also the narrative of rape and stuff. Obviously, Drewski and Odell Beckham get named to the Diddy lawsuit. Well, one of them at least. And
Drewski on the slip and slide is crazy.
It is crazy, and it's wild because somebody broke it down on Twitter. They were like, think about how this is being sold. Because everybody knows, you know, what Drewski is, right? He's an IG skit guy. I mean, I guess you could call him a comedian, but he's an IG skit guy. And you can almost visualize the idea of this nigga being told, get you some, and then he sprays the oil on her, and then he jumps in like a slip and slide. It's being sold to make it to where, in which it could have happened. Let me not say it didn't, but like to where if it didn't happen, you can actually see it happening.
I'm going to say it didn't happen. I can visualize it happening, but I can't actually see it happening.
Well, it just doesn't make any sense.
He wasn't
in
famous.
A sense of, so Diddy's just sitting there watching this. Then Odell Beckham comes in and he now think about this. I don't think Odell Beckham hurts to get ass. Period. And not that you would have to in order to do something like this, but it really doesn't make sense. Like
here will be my counter to something like that of you saying it. He doesn't hurt for ass. I think if you get so used to hearing yes, you don't know how to take no the right way.
Yeah.
But Drewski wasn't famous in 2018. Why would he be at a Diddy party? And how is this big ass? Come on, you've had sex before, right?
I think so, yeah. I think I did something like that once.
You know, I think I've had it before too. Maybe. Could you imagine, like, can you actually see yourself jumping up and diving on a woman and that working sexually? Like, you're not gonna, but you know how hard it is to take I'm sorry, this is a little bit graphic, but this is not sexual. I mean, it's sexual, but it's not to be like sexualized. Bro, you can't take your erect penis, leave your feet to dive on a woman and land in that thing. You know how hard that is? And then land in a way that she's like Drewski's fat to not collapse her body. Like, you know what I mean?
Break a
like
rib, I guess it said it knocked the wind out of her, but
Should have knocked more than the wind out of it. Should have knocked the wind, the rain, the goddamn, you know what I'm saying? The sun,
Yeah.
all the elements. But nah, I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong, though. If Odell Beckham was ever guilty of being at some freaky ass parties, I'd believe it. I wouldn't be shocked. Like if Odell is like on the Diddy records, like in the little black book, I'm not shocked here. Okay. I'm not saying he did anything illegal.
You're just saying it seems like he'd hang out with that crowd.
I could see Odell being like sexually fluid, and it's known amongst the people in the nasty, rich, secret sex communities. And people just know.
I mean, that's fair. This is a guy that the week before a playoff game flew down to Miami
And
with his
Tim's.
shirt off on a boat with jeans and Tim's. Yeah.
With Biebs.
Yeah, I was about to say Justin Bieber was with them too, right? Like,
I blame
another
Victor Cruz.
person that Diddy certainly has a history with.
Yes. I blame Victor Cruz. He was the
You
victim.
mean?
Yeah, Carucci X.
She's a lot of people's exes. Chris Brown's, right? A couple people.
Carucci. This dude from the Lakers just did a terrible flop. I mean, it's awful. Like, he should be out of the league.
Jamison?
Yeah. Are you watching the game?
No, because I'm on my phone, literally.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Golly, we have not talked about anything.
For what it's worth, there's not much to talk about NBA wise overall.
LeBron's hurt. Stephen A.
It's clearly that is going to fuck them up a little bit in the standings. Like, I mean, I think that they're going to still finish top 4, but if they don't get it together, because now this is like the third straight game they dropped. They lost to the Celtics. They lost to the Nets. They're going to lose to the Bucks.
Rui's hurt, by the way.
Yeah, but he had been hurt.
Yeah, LeBron's hurt. Bronny's with South Bay. Jackson Hayes is hurt. They're supposed to lose these games. I mean,
well, I don't know about to the Brooklyn Nets.
They shouldn't lose to Brooklyn, but you can understand how they could lose a close game to Brooklyn with all the people missing and niggas going into the game.
And that being their Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they going into the game like, it's just Brooklyn. But it's like, hold on. We ain't got the full roster. We got 7 people playing today.
They're probably out partying.
Yes, it's New York.
Yeah.
Like, people talk about LA and partying. LA closes at 1:45, bro. I mean, bro, we've been out in LA and at 1:37, they're saying last call and turn the lights on. And it's like, whoa. You don't turn the lights on at last call. Keep the lights off.
That's because LA's a who do you know house party ass place.
It's a house party city. Whereas New York, you can find whatever you want at any time of the day in New York.
This is true.
You have experience with that?
I've certainly partied past 3 a.m. for sure in New York. 4. But cities like New York, London, Ibiza was another one. Places like that, Las Vegas, of course.
How's Ibiza?
I don't think it's number one. For whatever reason, everybody always has it as the number 1 party city in the world. I didn't get that vibe. This is where all the rich Europeans go to hang out because it's basically a beach, almost like South Beach a little bit, but like obviously foreign. Well, I guess South Beach is a little foreign too, but like,
hey, was it one of those cities where they party a lot, but the parties aren't as good as people tell you they are?
Yes.
Okay.
I put it this way, and I know I'm a Vegas veteran, but I would rather hang out in Las Vegas.
Well, that's different.
It is different, but they have casinos and stuff in Ibiza too. So like,
You're not plugged. I'm changing chargers.
you good.
But you're not plugged in Ibiza like that. So
That too. I mean, that's true.
You're Vegas. You saying Vegas isn't fair because of how you're treated in Vegas.
I'd rather hang out in New York too. I mean, granted, I guess I know quite a few people up there.
No. It's not about the people. So, like for Vegas, right? Here's why I don't go to Vegas with anybody else. That sounds crazy, but like after we went to Vegas and the juice that you have in Vegas, it is a different experience of Vegas for like normal 9-to-5ers, right? Normal 9-to-5ers don't get to do the stuff that we were doing while we were there.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to spin a grip. But you're a gambler, so you are able to get the perks that other people would have to spin a grip on because you gamble.
Right.
And so you putting Vegas as your number one or wherever you put Vegas, you don't have the perks in the other places. Like you got more juice in Vegas than you do in the city, don't you?
But the thing, I don't really go out here. I mean, like, I go out to eat here. I don't go out to hang out. I mean, I know people here too, but like, I don't like. Do you know what's the name of the place? I mean, he owns a few of them, but I know Ahmed, Zari. You know what Zari is, right?
No, I don't know anything.
Okay, so Zari is a pretty popular club, like in the Buckhead area. Nothing but dimes that work there, like nothing but. Literally everybody there is a 9 or a 10, and like
I don't know the club scene, bro. I ain't went to the club in Atlanta since college.
It's a money pit. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. Maybe that's why I don't like doing it. I just don't like spending money on that type of stuff. Like, I would much rather blow $1,000 and lose a bet that has potential of making me money, as opposed to blowing $1,000 and not getting anything out of it. Period. I mean, it doesn't. I don't have a good enough time off that $1,000.
Well, yeah, no. The thing is that it costs too much money without the possibility of real returns to build up equity on the club scene. Whereas in the casino scene, you can just go gamble. You don't even have to be into the perks. You'll just get the perks because you gamble.
Correct.
Hey, bro, you didn't tell me that. Like I was laying on my bed earlier. You didn't tell me my bed was all messed up behind me. Got me looking all crummy and shit.
Is it? I mean, it looks like I see a pillow.
Yeah, it's a pillow. It's just it's not smooth. Hey man, let's talk about Stephen A. I mean, bro, this is really
the $100 million man.
Yeah, hold on, but this is really like we're podding like it's the summertime post NBA Finals right now.
Again, because there wasn't much with basketball. I mean, of course we got football free agency, but like, and the thing is, there's not that many big free agents in football either. And our team specifically hadn't really done anything. I mean, I know we'll get to it later, but
I mean, they did show up to Georgia Pro Day finally.
Did you hear what Brick said? I mean, well, here, hell, we'll get to football.
So where do we start with Steve? Because I've got a rant that I've got to get off for Steve. That's crazy, boss. But do we start with the $100 million contract?
Actually, do this. Let's start with your rant, because I have to actually.
You got what?
Or set it up. I just got to use the bathroom.
Okay, I'm going to go pee. I'm going to break down the contract and talk about the contract. I'm not in rant mode right now. All right, so we're going to talk about Stephen A's contract. I've got the details saved in here somewhere. I'm sorry. So I know this looks crazy, but as I'm going through this thread here trying to find this post, we just have some wild takes in our group text, and they're really funny. So that's why you'll see me just randomly laughing here and there. Golly, that's a set. See, we're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, we are getting there, but we aren't there yet. But Stephen A signed $100 million, a 5-year hundred. That's beautiful. $100 million, 5-year, $100 million contract to return to ESPN. We knew he wasn't leaving. They weren't going to get off of him, and he wasn't going to get off of them because neither of them really work well without the other. Let's just be real. But in that, Steve, he negotiated some nice terms for himself because he's the man over there at the worldwide leader. He has to make sure that he can do what he wants to do on ESPN Airwaves. Here we go. Stephen A. Smith's $100 million plus dollar contract perks. Primary focus will be first take in NBA, obviously. He's going to appear on Monday Night Countdown in football season, which is absolutely terrible because it's too much Stephen A. Smith. He's going to be able to grow. He's going to have the ability to grow his production company. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like ESPN is going to funnel some resources into his program, into his network. They'll probably take a piece of it. He ain't telling you that. And he's going to have the freedom to talk politics and social issues. So I'm not going to actually read the full details of his contract because I don't care. Because shout out to Stephen A. Smith for getting paid. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith for grinding his ass off to get himself into this position. Shout out to him for finding a corner where he could post up and move his product, right? Highly successful. Something to be, I mean, this man signed what used to be a max contract in the NBA to talk about sports. That's to be applauded. Golly. More Steve Smith. I watch Monday Night Countdown sometimes. I don't want to see Stephen A. Smith talking football. That's why I don't listen to his podcast, nor do I watch First Take. And what the problem with a Stephen A. Smith is Stephen A., he goes in and he makes a lot of money. But he also works very hard. And he works in multiple spots to where his peers should hate him because he's drying up the money for him. Pat McAfee got his big contract, right? But Pat shit is separate. He has the Pat McAfee show that's ran through ESPN. Then he gets paid to do the college football stuff. Troy and Joe, they get paid a heavy, they get paid a lot. But all they do is Monday Night Football. You see, but Steve, he wants to be on First Take. He's still going to do the ESPN car wash. He wants to be on the NBA Countdown show. He wants to be on the NFL Countdown show. No! Stop working so hard. You have leverage. Work less with them and work more elsewhere. I take that back. I'm telling another man what to do with his time. Steve Smith, do whatever the hell you want. Work less, make more. Work more, make less. I don't care what you do, Steve. Dog, just do whatever the hell you want. Parlay Pete, did you hear any of my rant and raving?
Yeah, I brought the phone with me to the men's room.
I just don't really like that Stephen A. works so much, and I'm going to bring you in after this last point. Him getting the sign off to talk politics and social issues. Remember, ABC, what ruined the 6? Like, what ruined 6 o'clock Sports Center? 6 o'clock Sports Center has not recovered from what Jemele Hill and Michael Smith did. I did not mind what they did. I'm black. They niggas.
Well, and I was about to say that they blackify. Does that make any sense?
They was just on there being niggas and talking about nigga shit from a nigga perspective.
Well, they his and her Sports Center.
Yeah, I liked it because I liked his and hers. And honestly, before the media got way, way too liberal, I was a fan of Jemele Hill and Michael Smith. Like when Jemele Hill was not, because here's the thing, Parlay P, and this is gonna, it's a long way home. But you know, sometimes it's worth taking a long way because you're really trying to get that. You sent that you up text, but you know once you get home, it's over with. So you take the long way home. You remember when it was okay to be controversial and offensive and you weren't labeled as a bad person? I think that cancel culture has hurt black society, black media, black voices more than anybody else. Because you can have, like, what is that Clay Travis guy who's going back and forth with Jamie Foxx? Like Clay Travis, he says racist shit all the time. I'm not even going to say borderline. I'm not calling him a racist. He's a conservative. But listening to his stuff, I'm like, bro, nigga, that's racist. But it's okay. He's not mainstream, but it's okay. But like cancel culture has too many black people clinging to the liberal agenda to where you start adopting causes and speaking in a way that's not even reflective of who you truly are. You were just trying to make sure you stay in your position, and then you lose it. Like some of the shit Jemele Hill be saying now, I'm like, that ain't Jemele. Like Jemele was the chick who was actually, for me, I enjoyed listening to her speak so much, it almost made her attractive. Because I don't think she's ugly, but I'm not attracted.
No, she's not. She's not ugly.
Yeah, but I'm not attracted to Jemele Hill.
It's very hard to put ugly people on TV, period. So like you typically have to you can't be unattractive.
Unless you're a former player and you're calling WNBA games.
Well, and then you sound like, and there goes the 3.
But no.
Becky Hammond calls time out. That's how they be sounding.
Prime Jemele Hill. I was like, you know what? If I went on a date with her, or if I was just out with her having drinks, just talking shit, I could see how this could turn into something just because she seems so cool and I actually like her take on sports and society. But they got too far radicalized, and I don't like it. But lastly, Stephen A is going to use his platform on ESPN to propel his run for the presidency.
So you believe he's really going to do it?
Yeah, I do.
That's why he's getting familiar with people on The View.
Yeah. Because
ESPN's giving him more money really to kind of jumpstart. Because think about it. We ain't never heard of nobody. They didn't even really, I mean, they did, I guess, but they didn't even really announce Troy Aikman and Joe Buck's contract. They don't ever fucking announce that shit. That shit got announced.
Well, yeah.
And I know it was probably a record, $100 million. I don't think anyone's gotten $100 million in media, unless you're Oprah, which we never even knew. Obviously, she's a billionaire. Don't nobody ever remember what the fuck ABC was paying Oprah? Like, but they didn't announce that shit.
Stephen A wanted it out because Stephen A suffers from main character syndrome. Like Stephen A does not understand. He does not understand the assignment, right? Now he's doing well at what he does. I don't want y'all to get this misconstrued. He's good at being a talking head, great talking head. I don't want to hear him, but I think he's a great talking head. But Stephen A. Smith, oh shit. Sorry, this dope movie comes out next week. Stephen A. Smith thinks people come to see him in a vacuum. No. Steve, as I call you. People come to hear you talk about the main characters. People would still watch LeBron, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Stephen Curry, Jalen Brunson, Carl Anthony Towns, a certified baller. They'll come to see them if Stephen A. doesn't exist. But if these athletes don't exist, who the fuck put Batum in? Why the fuck Batum in right now? Steve, why the fuck are you talking? The game is on, nigga. Why do you get league? Why do you walk into the arena like it's league fits? Why are you walking into Gil's arena? He's your queen to be. You know what I'm saying? With all that. And I know that's funny, but he doing the walk because you know he wanted that entrance.
Yeah, they set it up. They set it up like it was a Jennifer Hudson show. You know how they do this like little Soul Train line shit for everybody that's on the show?
No, I don't know what they do on that show. I don't watch daytime women's
I don't either. But point is, they do it. They do it. And that's the basis of the Kanye game song. But go ahead. Yeah.
But it's I don't like it. And you know what? Here I am at my rant, even though I've been talking this entire time. Stephen A. and LeBron get into it. Stephen A. was critical of LeBron, the father, and Bronny, the basketball player. And I'm okay with people criticizing whether or not Bronny should have came out early. I'm okay with people criticizing LeBron obviously using nepotism to get his son in the league. I'm okay with it being with people criticizing it. Criticize the act. Don't criticize the actor. Don't say LeBron as a father. As a father, you don't tell me how to raise my child. And if you see that if you care about me, if you truly care about me, which I don't think Stephen A. Smith truly cares about LeBron James, you know how to get in touch with me. Just like Stephen A. said, LeBron knows how to get in touch with him. Steve, you know how to get in touch with me. If you want to have a man-to-man conversation and just say, hey, from the media perspective, here's what I hear, here's what we do, here's how this is going to play out, and you have that behind-the-scenes conversation with him, man-to-man, like, hey, do you realize what you're setting your son up for, but also what you're setting yourself up for? Because you're going to be hearing this from some people that you love and respect as a father, and how that may make you feel. That's different. But don't get on the fucking airwaves to try to get your $100 million contract and tell me as a father what to do with my child when, in the grand scheme of things, what LeBron is doing is not jeopardizing Bronny's health and safety. You know?
Somebody actually broke this down really well, and I meant to send it to you. Maybe I don't think I did. I saw a video, though, but somebody basically broke down the whole Bronny thing anyways, just him in the NBA period, being drafted, 55th or 56th, whatever it was. And it was the craziest breakdown ever. They said, let's look at the 3 people drafted before him and then the 3 people that were drafted after him. They compared their NBA stats. They said, looks pretty similar to me. Then they said, all right, now let's look at their G League stats. Bronny's kicking their ass in terms of statistics in the G League. Then they said, all right, let's look at the pay. Because everybody was like, oh, how did he get a fully guaranteed?
Yep, that was Gilbert.
Okay.
I listened to it on the show in real time, not the clip.
Okay. Obviously he broke down that. And it's like, oh, okay, looks pretty similar. It looks like they all got the same deal. Then they said, all right, well, I tell you, let's look at the year before that. Similar guys in that same position. Looks like league standard to me.
And then he pulled up Bronny's per 36. And it was like 14, 5, and 5 or some shit like that. Like rookie of the year.
Right.
But Bronny is on a contending team as the 55th pick. He's not contributing in the NBA. If Zachary Richardson, the number 1 overall pick, was drafted by the Lakers, dumb people would talk about him as a bust because he would not have the opportunities that the other rookies have. He wouldn't put up the numbers. He may not get the minutes. He's not getting the shots. And he's playing winning basketball, not go get better basketball. Hey, go out there and make mistakes. No. Corner. You better make the corner 3. Pump fake, 2 dribble pull up.
Or
you don't get
3
shots. You don't get 3 shots in a row if Bron and AD or Bron and Luka ain't touched the ball. I don't care if you pull it off the rim yourself. If you ain't getting a layup, if you ain't going coast to coast and finishing, dribble that bitch out. Give it to that 40-year-old. Give it to the nigga who like beer and hookah. Pass me the hookah. So you can't even properly contextualize like you have to properly contextualize this stuff to understand. A 55th pick in no year and no draft is contributing to a team that's trying to win a championship. And the Lakers are trying to win a championship.
It was going to be tough for him to get minutes just anyway. I mean, it didn't really matter. I mean, it was – and then people forget, too, that Bronny did have a heart condition. I mean, this man passed out on the court. And, yeah, he was almost DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah, exactly. And if his goal was to get into the NBA, and because of the injury, his less than stellar USC season is excused because he didn't play the whole, he wasn't cleared medically for most of the season. He came in late, so he wasn't in game shape, all of that stuff, didn't have his rhythm and flow.
USC also just wasn't a good team.
No, but if there's a small little sliver to get him in the NBA off of something, off of his physical traits or off of dad still being a high-end top 10 player in the league, I'm helping my son accomplish his goal. And maybe Bronny didn't want to play with me as his dad, right? Maybe he wanted to go elsewhere. But I maybe couldn't leverage that in the same way so that he is set up to be in the league longer. Because, you know, our parents did stuff for us that we didn't like in the moment, that we look back on and say, Mom and Dad had it right. That's the thing. Or maybe as a father who wasn't there, he'd been in the league longer than Bronny been living. I'm trying to make up for lost time with my son. If he's on the team, we get those road trips, we get those practices. I get to get some of this time back. Because, you know, Zuri, she's going to get the best of it because she's still young. He's going to be retired in 3 years. He's going to be there for her high school. Bryce, you know what I'm saying? He probably going to play in the G League for the South Bay Lakers for like 8 years. He may bounce around overseas, but Bron's going to be retired to get some of that time with Bryce back. You know what I mean? Well, Bronny going to be in the league. Bronny going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? He wants to get that time with his firstborn. And I can't knock it. I can't knock it because he's a good enough player. You know what I mean? Bronny is a good enough player to be where he's at, to be drafted where he was at. They may have reached, given what they knew at that moment, but just because you reach doesn't mean you're wrong. And the Lakers weren't wrong for drafting Bronny James. He is a second round 55th pick player. And lastly, and I'll let you go. Gilbert made a great point. He said, okay, they don't draft him. They draft somebody else 55th. They sign Bronny as a free agent. Who's going to get that last roster slot? 55th pick or Bronny? Bronny. So you might as well draft him because that nigga ain't making the team.
Yeah, no, exactly. And for me, it's not like Bronny wasn't a McDonald's All-American. And not that always translates to, oh, he's going to be drafted. Because it doesn't. There are plenty of dudes that have been McDonald's All-Americans, like guys like Seventh Wood. You remember these dudes that they had these hoop mixtapes, hoop mixtape legends.
Akil Clark.
Josh Selby. Yeah.
I mean,
there were
league.
plenty of dudes that everybody's like, oh man, this he's league.
And Selby made the league, but he ain't do nothing. He was in and out. Like them nasty burgers.
Well, hold on now. We're not gonna give a shot in and out. Now, if you think the fries are nasty, Lee, that's one thing I can get with you. Those burgers are not nasty.
I take that back. They're not nasty. They're overhyped and overrated.
I'll accept that. I don't think that they're overhyped. I think that outside of, and Five Guys isn't a fast food restaurant, in my opinion. But if you want to throw them in, yeah, theirs are better. But that's really it. I think that is the best. Well, at Culver's.
Culver's has good burgers? I've never had Culver's.
Oh, my God. Oh, it's Steak and Shake, too. Those are like the other ones. But
hey, bro, work bought a Steak and Shake yesterday for lunch.
It's a damn good burger.
Bro, I'm telling you. That's the one thing I love about when we have work stuff at the main office. They cater lunch. And it's
so what, they just get everybody singles?
No. Double with cheese. And we had extras. And fries. And she calls it in. And when she comes back in the door with the food, the meeting stops for lunch. It's so the fries are still good. It's not like lunch is at 12 o'clock and she comes in at 11:30 with the food and we're sitting there waiting. It's like lunch is here, and if you're not the person who is updating the boss, you go eat.
Yeah.
And then once that last person is done, it's time to go eat.
Yeah.
That's what I tell you. They feed us.
Damn good burger. But what was your point? You said, guys were in and out of the league, like the nasty burgers.
Hey, you cook. I'm about to do what you just did.
Go ahead. But all in all, he's more than deserving of his position. Maybe he wasn't one of the 60 best players, but again, he still is LeBron's son, and nobody should have an issue with that. And again, like I said, his numbers are reflective of good basketball. He's playing good basketball, at least in the G League he is, and that's okay. That's okay. But that's why a guy like Steve, it's his job to talk about this type of stuff. But again, he also didn't have to talk about him from the father standpoint. And I think that that's really pretty much where everybody's issue kind of came in with this. It's just one of those things. And so, Bronny, he's a product of his dad, and there is nepotism that comes with it. But Steve's out of line, and that's okay. That's okay. It got blown out of proportion and shouldn't have been that way to begin with. But again, Steve kind of invites the smoke, and the smoke came to him, and now he uses it as his own car wash for everywhere that he goes.
Let's talk about that suck ass shit, right? So
Hannity.
Steve,
I can't believe this motherfucker was on Hannity talking about this.
No, but think about how he introduced this, right? We see the back and forth, right? I loved it. Because for
Hell, it
Bron,
didn't even really look like back and forth. It looked like LeBron was just telling him what it was. And then
it was
he
a
said,
one-way
I understand. And then he's like, no, fuck that. Like,
it was a one-way conversation.
yeah.
And based on what Bron has said, what Steve said, Bron said, what we've heard Steve say about this whole situation, we go, Steve, you're missing the boat here. Bron is just saying, like, hey, nigga, leave my kid out of this. Like, talk about the basketball player. Don't talk about my son. Talk about LeBron James Jr., the basketball player. Don't talk about Bronny. Talk about LeBron James, the basketball player. Don't talk about LeBron, the dad. And for the people who were like, well, he put his son out there to be publicly ridiculed. Yes, he did. He did that. Swaggy P told a story. He said his daddy checked Stephen A one day. You know why Stephen A didn't talk about it?
Because he's Swaggy P.
It's Swaggy P. And that's LeBron's point. You're only doing this shit because it gets attention.
It creates the bandwidth.
I don't grab my ankles for you, Steve. I don't grab my ankles. Don't fuck with me. Ain't that what Jerry told Bob Kraft?
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me. That's all Bron said. Hey, bro, I don't grab my ankles for you, so stop. And then for Steve to come out, for one, he drops the tweet last Friday morning, right? Then he gets on there in his solemn voice. You know what I mean? Because Bron took his soul. I wasn't even gonna speak on this, but you know, my agent, executives from the network, people sending this to my inbox, and you know it went viral, so I had to speak on it. You ain't have to do shit. You picked the topics for First Take, right? If you didn't want to speak on it, you didn't have to speak on it. You could have let this die. But no.
Right. Joy Taylor didn't have to address anything on Speak.
No, she just came back.
She still ain't talked about that shit.
No, she came out more peanut butter than she's ever been, and them cans is fucking full. You know, but Steve, he has to address it. Then he has to address it again on his podcast. I don't know what he and Skip talked about, but guess what? You sat with Skip Bayless 72 hours after your spat with LeBron. Then you go in Gil's Arena and you talk about it. And then you're on Hannity and you talk about it.
How the fuck does he get on Hannity? I'm just trying to, and I get it, maybe that fuels the political stuff.
He's trying to run for president, and he's a black man who will say negative things about black people in the Democrat Party. So Fox eats that up. Parlay P, I promise you. If this show picked up enough steam, we could go on Fox News and speak simply because we do not subscribe to the liberal Democrat, liberal black agenda. Which is why, you know, when I talk to you about what Atlanta duo we wanted to embody, and obviously Outkast is the obvious one.
Yeah.
But I said, well, how do we actually make that work, right? And I go, well, we're actually Outkast because we are Atlanta based, but we don't subscribe to black Atlanta culture.
You know what's crazy though? It really actually is.
Let me hold on. I just want to pitch it. We don't subscribe to regular Atlanta culture. You know, like we're not just spending all this money on women. We're not wearing all the designer, fancy, flashy Nike Tech Fit in the club. We don't go to the club. We don't go to the strip club. We're not bleeding liberals. We're Falcons fans, but we don't think Michael Vick was better than Matt Ryan. We're Georgia fans. We're Braves fans. You know what I mean? Like
we want the Hawks to win.
We want the Hawks to win, but we are the black face to Georgia culture, not Atlanta culture. But because we're Atlanta based, we are truly outcast in the city.
I like how you just sit back like he's like, yeah, you like that, right? You like that?
I'm learning from Steve. He's $100 million man.
No, it's a perfect way to look at it. And you know what's even crazier? Because Big Boy's not really from Atlanta.
Savannah.
Right. But you're from Cartersville.
Yeah.
And although I'm technically not from Atlanta, I was born in Decatur, and I'm pretty sure that 3000 was born in Decatur. I might be wrong.
Bro,
but I'm almost certain that that's where he's from.
Bro, you've lived in Atlanta pretty much since 2011. Like Fulton County.
But for the Atlanta folks, anytime anyone talks to me and they're like, "Did you go to APS?" I'm like, "No." My high school's address is Atlanta, Georgia, though, where I graduated. That is their address.
And you've lived in Atlanta proper for half of your life. Fuck off.
Yeah. And I came to the city a lot, too, as a child. But
well, yeah. And the culture is damn near the same.
It's all the same. All that shit. Anything in this metro, and even extend 30 minutes outside of the metro, it's all the same.
Right. We weren't culturally different when we met each other in 2011.
Right.
We listened to the same music. We were pretty much attracted to the same type of women. We talked about the same shit.
Yeah.
You just grew up in Stone Mountain. I grew up in Cartersville.
Right.
But let me get back to Steven. Golly, I feel like I'm talking too much today.
Go on. Steve brings a lot of talking points to the table.
Oh, yeah. Here goes something. Glad we're not monetized so I can play as much of it as I want. Here we go.
Some folks have been attacking me. Not over this, but using this as an excuse to accuse me of hating on the brothers. I'm sick of that shit. I'm not backing up from that anymore. I'm not taking it from people anymore. I'm not just a black man. I'm a brother. I'm not going to take this shit from people anymore.
Yes, he is.
I'm going on Gilbert Arenas' podcast tomorrow. Gil's Arena. With Rashad McCants, with Kenyon Martin, Swaggy P.
He started
Nick
with Rashad
Young
McCants.
And the crew. I can't wait. I can't wait for that conversation. I'm not taking this shit no more from people. I've had it with this. Because it's incidents like this that people try to piggyback off of. And they try to use it as an excuse to talk about me.
Oh, so people are using something that happened to you as an excuse to talk about you, where your career is built off of talking about things that other people do. Steve, shut the fuck up.
Steve's the only one talking about it, though. That's the thing. He's the one that's talking about it.
I mean, because the big, like, Bill Simmons, he did a quick little blah, blah about it on his Sunday podcast, or maybe on his Sunday podcast, right? Nick Wright and Bomani talked about it a little bit, but it was the mainstream people talked about it on a lower key level.
Well, they might have been going through highlights of the game and then threw it in because it happened during the game.
Right. Cowherd talked about it for a second on his podcast. He didn't talk about it on the herd on FS1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your media compadres are giving you the respect as a media member of not talking about it. But Steve, you don't get to sit on TV and talk crazy and shit not happen. If Steve ran into us in Atlanta or ran into me in Atlanta and he checked me about this podcast, what can I say? I can't say he's out of pocket. I'm calling this nigga by a form of his name that he doesn't go by. It's
you don't want to call him SA, do you?
Hell no.
Isn't that what Molly calls him?
I'm not calling nobody SA, bro. Like that's sexual assault, man. I can't no. I can't.
But isn't that what she calls him?
Yeah. But I agree though with Steve. I don't like how he gets shit on for shitting on black men when he talks sports and he has to talk about black people. And we don't fuck with that more of why we're outcast, right? With a C. We don't really fuck with how people say you can't criticize black people. Yes, I can. I criticize everybody. I discuss everybody, and I speak about it in a way that I believe it to be true. Black, white, indifferent, gay, straight, indifferent, Muslim, Jew. Well, I don't really talk about them too because that'll get you out of here. And
Well, if you don't pick the right side, well, you can get fucked up picking whatever side. It doesn't matter which side you take.
I mean, one gets you canceled, one gets you blown up. So, I just wouldn't touch either. You choose one. He don't even want to respond to this shit I'm saying. I get it.
No, I don't have much to say about it.
Hey, you know something crazy? In construction, if you are doing like state jobs, like if you get government funding for a job, you cannot, like they stipulate in the contract that you cannot work with companies who are boycotting Israel. So if like one of your subcontractors is boycotting Israel, you can't use them. That's power.
Yeah.
But I'm saying all of that to say, I don't think Stephen A. Smith goes out of his way to criticize black men because he is just criticizing the people that he discusses. But I understand why people get to that conclusion. But the more and more you listen to Stephen A., you understand that he grabs his ankles for the dollars. So what do you expect him to do?
That's generated.
Yeah, see, I can't play no more of that because then that will be me listening to Steve Smith of ESPN, and I don't do that.
He's the number one guy in the industry.
No, he's not. He's
Yeah,
the
he
highest.
is.
He's the highest paid. He's not number one.
Would you rather be considered underpaid or overrated?
I'd rather be Bill Simmons. I mean, think about it. Bill Simmons is impacting sports culture way more than Stephen A. Smith.
For sure.
He's not as mainstream recognized because he's not at ESPN anymore. But he built golly, what's the shit he built?
He did 30 for 30.
Not 30 for 30.
But he did. That's like him.
His side label at ESPN.
The Grantland?
Grantland. He built Grantland. He pretty much took that same thing and built the Ringer just out of his own pockets. He sold that. He just made the Celtics doc this out. He did the
He made the Vince McMahon one.
Vince McMahon. He did the Andre the Giant doc. He's impacting sports culture, and while also participating in the 24-hour news cycle and clickbait, he is making long-lasting products that live in sports forever. But I would definitely rather be overrated than underpaid. Yeah. No. Yeah, no. Overpay me, please.
Yeah.
But I think that's enough about Steve. We don't really need to talk basketball. Let's get to NFL free agency. We've been here for 2. I'm not going to lie to you. This may not be one of the better audio experiences that we've given the listeners, but it's been way more fun.
Yeah, well, we should have all this fixed soon, where we can get it back kind of to that top tier standard that we're used to.
Well, the NBA hasn't given us enough, and we're just shooting the shit today.
Yeah, again, and basketball season's getting ready to end. We got March Madness. It's not too much to talk about there, really. But
Flag got hurt today.
Yeah, and he's either coming out or he isn't. I mean, that's what nobody really cares if Duke wins. You care if is he serious about coming out or not?
He's coming out.
Was he really serious about staying? Because
no.
Vegas has the odds to where there's a better chance that he plays in Duke than he does for the Hornets.
He's going to the league. I I'm not saying he's not. The Hornets aren't getting number one. There's a reason why De'Aaron Fox just had season-ending surgery. There's a reason why Paul George is evaluating options to get himself fixed, and he's gonna miss the rest of the season.
Tyrese Maxey, he'll end up not coming back either.
No, there's a reason why the Jazz just got fined for not playing Larry Marketing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Danny's told the owner, "Hey, don't even worry about that, honey. I got it. We got larger fish to fry out here." Do the Jazz have are they the worst team with actual good players?
It's crazy. When you actually look up and down the roster, it's a bunch of guys that put up stats. And so
Go ahead.
Even for that time, like Colin had missed like 8 games or something like in a row too, which falls in line with what they've been doing, which it's clear because let me not say he wasn't hurt. He might have been, but if these were meaningful games, those guys would be playing. And so they're just not meaningful. Not meaningful for the Jazz to win, at least.
Yes.
And so they've got way but even if you look at a team like the Wizards.
No. Hold on, let's stay with the Jazz though. Isaiah Collier quietly having a great rookie year.
Yeah.
Colin can average 20 if he gets enough minutes. Jordan Clarkson, arguably one of the best microwaves in the league. John Collins
having a renaissance type season too.
I had no idea, but John Collins started in the Eastern Conference Finals.
He's averaging like 18 and 9.
Larry Markkinen is an all-star.
Yeah.
But they suck.
Yeah, they're very bad.
Walker Kessler, a good big man that you would want to have on like a good team, you know?
He could be the next Zubac.
Oh, speaking of which, Zubac or Rudy Gobert?
Today, I'd probably take Zubac.
If they made the same amount of money, Zubac or Rudy?
I mean, I would never pay either of them that money. But I think it depends on the construction of your team.
If you are building a team and you're not building around your center, but you have to choose your center first.
Probably Rudy, just because he's a stronger defender.
Give me Zubac. We're not playing 5-on-4 on offense every possession.
It's so funny though, because it would actually work out better, low key, if they switched positions. I mean, switch teams basically.
I mean, it would be funny if they traded Rudolph instead of Cat, but nobody would trade for Rudolph.
But I'm just saying, even with that Clippers team, that'd be a really strong defensive team if Rudy Gobert was the center. And then if you put Zubac on the Timberwolves, it would flow so much better offensively.
Yeah, because Zubac can play offense.
Yeah, I think he's averaging probably 16 and 10.
Bro, he had a crazy game last night. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team.
Is he?
Yep.
I almost asked you a question, then I was like, no, I would have to pause that, so I'm not going to ask you.
I've got the second best team. This is actually the last week of the regular season for fantasy basketball. I'm about to finish 16 and 4. There's a guy in our league that's 18 and 1 currently, which is crazy. But
Zubac had 26 and 14 last night. I don't think Rudolph can do that. I don't think he's capable of scoring 26 points.
Probably not.
I wonder what his career high is. Rudy Gobert. He scored 35 in 2017.
35.
Yeah.
So that would have been with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
And I would imagine he had at least 10 dunks that game. Probably made more free throws than normal.
38 and 15. He was 13 of 15 from the field.
All dunks. Okay.
9 for 12 from the free throw line.
Yep, exactly. There you go. I said a better than usual free throw game too.
9 for 12.
But he's probably a 50% guy. He's like up there with Shaq. Like he's a bad free throw shooter.
Imagine if Rudy Gobert was fat and unathletic and couldn't play like professional basketball. Like, what would his lot in life be?
Could be like a security guard.
Like, do you ever wonder, because you don't see many 7-footers, but what do 7-footers do who can't play like basketball?
It's a good question. They don't look like they are hunched over cubicles or anything. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't get a day job.
They're not in warehouses.
Oh, no. Hell no. His career free throw percentage is 64. Yeah, 75. That's a good day. Yo, Stephen A said, I'm a brother. I don't like the word brother to describe black men because that's saying nigga, but white people can say it. Oh yeah, I know this guy. Yeah. Oh yeah, James. Yeah. He's a cool brother.
Yeah, right. he's the brother down the hall.
What's the most disrespectful thing a white person could call you that's not the N-word?
Boy. Again, we kind of had this conversation before. Boy is a little bit more derogatory than being called a nigga. Because it's like a two-way disrespect with that.
Because now you question my manhood.
Well, you're belittling me and you're also calling me a nigga at the same time.
I was at the grocery store not too long ago, and this older white lady said to me something about me being a good boy. But it was like a positive conversation. Did not know how to respond to it. I'm like, I think I should be bothered by this.
Well, I mean, what did she say?
I was buying some frozen fruit, and she said something to me about my smoothie. I'm like, yeah, just trying to be healthy. She's like, oh, you're such a good boy. I eat eggs and bacon every morning. But she was like obviously 25 to 30 years older than me.
Right.
No, more than that. She was probably in her 60s. So like I was young enough to be her son.
Yeah, so, where it's not meant that way.
It didn't seem derogatory, but just somebody white calling me a boy at 33 you just don't know. I live in Cartersville. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Side note, I wasn't offended. I thought it was all in good faith and good fun. Because unlike a lot of you fucking Ryan Clark ass niggas, I don't take everything to be racist. Like one of my closest white friends from like elementary, like from middle school through high school, and we remain friends since. She'll tell me some shit, and I'm like, golly, I'm so happy you don't say this shit out loud in public because you sound like a racist fuck. But you're not. You're just white and don't have black people in your day-to-day life who would check you on that. You know what I mean? Like telling me,
I hate to say ignorant. You're ignorant to.
Yeah, no, it's just pure ignorance. But it's like it's the blissful ignorance. That reminded me. Get us going on free agency. You can do this one.
Well, I guess. Well, I guess that's a good place to start, right? Falcons first.
Yes, sir.
Well, we cut Brady Jarrett. That was probably the first big piece of news that came out from Falcons camp. Well, I guess we extended Jake Matthews first. So we're like, okay, cap type move. And you guys decided that you did want to keep him. He's going to clearly be one of these players that's going to be a Falcon for life. He'll be a Ring of Honor guy, even though I think Jake Matthews has maybe made the Pro Bowl once. Maybe he'll be a Ring of Honor guy.
Yeah, he's just a stalwart of the organization.
Yeah, he's the blind side, literally, right? And so that's your first move. Then you cut Grady Jarrett, which made sense. I think everybody on the surface didn't want Grady to go, but it made a lot of sense. And Grady, he was a cap casualty that you weren't going to be able to restructure with him because to you it wasn't worth it. He was expendable. So makes sense. He immediately signs with the Bears, of course. You lose Drew Dahlman to the Bears as well, which I understand. You don't want to pay a center that kind of money either. That makes sense. And then you sit and you wait. And you ask yourself, so what are we going to do to address these issues? Like the one that we've had going on for 20 years, it feels like.
Our defense got worse, even if it was right to cut Grady.
Sure. But then you pick up Leonard Floyd, who is a consistently good pass rusher, not great, but good, who has a history with Ra, obviously, with their time in L.A., so the familiarity gets there. He's a Georgia Bulldog, former dog, so everybody can get behind that aspect of it. It does address certainly one side of your pass rush, but it wasn't a splashy pick, and it's only a one-year deal. And so you do that, you re-up Mike Hughes, so now we know for a fact that he's going to be CB2.
Yep.
Which I think that he played solid, honestly, for the most part of the year. I don't think he was bad, but
he wasn't bad.
And now you sit here and you ask yourself, are there going to be any other splash moves that the Falcons specifically do? And I just don't really see it. And so it'd be nice to look up and honestly see that it's a little past his prime, obviously, but if 1 year, $7 million for Von Miller, I'd like to see that. I don't see why not.
I was just telling my partner Adrian that earlier today. I'm like, let's just give Von Miller some money.
Yeah, pair them back up with Ra. I mean, that was your pass rush. Obviously not including Aaron Donald in the middle, but that's pretty much your pass rush for the Super Bowl when you won. They would have to be better than anything that we had because I think our leading sack, I think Arnold Ebiketie led the team, and I think he might have had 6 last year. And so, and he got held probably 4 of them in like the last 4 weeks. So, actually none in the last week because we didn't hit Bryce Young the last week, but 3 of the last 4 weeks.
Our last double-digit sack guy is not in the NFL anymore.
Yeah, and he still isn't 35 yet either, which is mind-blowing.
He might not be 30. Honestly, he might not be 33 yet.
And he's been out of the league for 3 years, maybe 4. Because he didn't play with the Titans.
No, he didn't. Yeah, no, he's not even 30. He's 32, man.
Yeah, and look.
He last played with the Arlington Renegades in 2024.
Yeah. And look, and that gets back to us addressing that issue. And now you probably got a safety. And at first I was thinking, well, maybe they're going to re-up Judon, right? Maybe Judon comes back. And him having Floyd, maybe that helps his production. Because obviously when we made the move, we loved it. We loved the Simmons move too. They were both moves that everybody agreed on. They just didn't work out, really. And you can't be mad if it doesn't work out when it was the right move. Now, you gave up a 3 to get him, and that kind of stings a little bit right now. Especially considering you lost a 5 because of your quarterback that you got to figure out what you're going to do with him, your backup quarterback, if he's going to just be your backup or somebody's going to step up to the plate. Because what the free agency officially opened today? Like it was officially open today, right?
I don't know how that shit
Like the
works.
new league year.
I honestly I didn't know the date because I know once the tampering period starts, to me it's open.
Right. But the official league day opening, of course, Kirk Cousins is due like a bonus or something.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get that bonus. Thank God.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you, Kirk. We're not cutting you. If we gotta pay you, sorry, I'm gonna let you get back. Kirk Cousins, you don't know where you're going until camp. Unless somebody give us something we like at the draft. We're not cutting you. We're going to carry your expense and carry your ass through the season as a backup. Because guess what? We're fucking paying you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
The cost of the quarterback room doesn't change if we leave Kirk. If we get rid of Kirk, but if we get rid of Kirk, our quarterback room takes a step back in both talent and experience.
Right. It's not our fault that you started to play poorly. And whether that's Ra's decision, your decision, or Rich's decision on whether or not you sat out a couple games if you were hurt, because nobody wanted to necessarily see Penix come in and either A, play better than you, and then everybody say, well, let's just keep Penix in, or B, Penix gets started too early and then he doesn't look good. And then it's like, oh my God, we might not have a quarterback. That's what the overreaction would be. You put yourself in this position, and now you got to deal with it. Simple as that.
When you take the money, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do because of the money. And that's why you get the conspiracy theories about the Illuminati and people selling their souls. I mean, it's being real.
Yeah.
Because with the money comes responsibilities. We talked about it with Future just a little bit, right? He skimps on that young lady that he was talking about. But what if he wasn't skimping? What if he was giving her $350 a year? She can't go get that 30 from the other nigga no more. She can't go to Dubai and get shitted on her chest and shit no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. See, I done signed you to a max deal. even if we ain't rocking, if the money's still coming in, and it's not child support, you got to listen if you still want it.
Yeah, and you're under contract with us, and this is the position that we want you to play. We're not disrespecting you like the Giants did Daniel Jones and making him practice squad safety. We're not trying to humiliate you. We want you to do your job, and this is your new job.
Yeah,
you had a different job going into last year. This year, this is the job that we feel like we want you to do.
Your job is to be a quarterback on the Atlanta Falcons. And based upon where you fall on the depth chart will determine what your responsibilities are. But we signed you to be the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons, and we're paying you to be the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. And now you're no longer the number one quarterback. So your job responsibilities are going to change. But see, here's the beautiful thing about this contract. We didn't sign you to be the starter. We just signed you to go to the quarterback room. So whether you're the starter or whether you're on the sideline in khakis and Sperry's, we still pay you this.
Oh, you mean his clothes from Kohl's?
Yeah. So by golly, Kirk, you better show up and you better help the young nigga. And if he gets hurt, guess what you're doing? You're playing. And you better produce. Because we can bring it back next year too. We're not. We can.
Yeah. And so I guess that's one of the things that's looming over them, and maybe we'll get to see more action. I don't expect us to have any big signings moving forward. Again, wishful thinking to hope that maybe Von Miller comes here on a 1 year for the cheap type deal.
He's not signed until training camp, probably after camp. He
Well,
doesn't.
well, right, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's when I expect the Falcons to make another move. It'll be, July, August, and so just look forward and get ready for the draft. But as far as the rest of the league goes, Patriots spent an ass ton of money, obviously, on the defense. Something that was, I thought, somewhat of a little bit of a strength that they already had, but they certainly reassured it. And Mike Vrabel's getting his touch on that defense, getting not Milton Stevens, Milton.
The Philly lineman that nobody really knew existed until he got signed by the Patriots.
Yeah, where he's getting $26 million a year to be an interior lineman. They got Harold Landry. A couple other nice little pieces. Didn't address the wide receiver, but who knows? Maybe Cooper Kupp becomes the next plucky white guy out in New England. We'll see. But obviously, the Bears, of course, we just talked about the Bears. They signed 2 Falcons, a host of other guys, made some trades, reassured that offensive line so that Caleb Williams could actually have a chance.
Is Ryan Poles getting fired? Is like Ryan Poles getting fired in front of our faces?
I believe so. If that team doesn't make the playoffs, and it's going to be tough fucking sledding, one way or another, it's going to be tough.
Well,
it ain't going to be easy for them to make the playoffs, but certainly they should be better than they were last year. I mean, no doubt.
Do you think these are Ryan Poles moves, or do you think these are Ben Johnson's moves? Because
I think these are collaborative moves.
Are they really collaborative?
They're Dan Quinn, Thomas Dimitroff moves.
Or is Ben Johnson saying, hey, here's what I want, go figure it out? And saying that in meetings with the ownership, so as it's happening, they know that this is not Poles making the move. This is Ben Johnson spending more time on personnel than he probably would like to because he doesn't have a GM who is aligned with him.
Well, ownership might be in flux just because the actual owner died, right? So
the family business.
Yeah, no, look, and I'm sure that she's got plenty of kids. Hopefully it's not an episode of what's that show where they do that? Not Empire. Huh?
The Lakers?
No, an actual TV show. Huh?
Succession?
Yes. Okay.
Did you watch that show?
I've seen the first 2 or 3 episodes. Katora tried to get me into it.
Bro, it's great.
I like that. It actually did seem like it was probably a good show. They got Fry from fucking Ferris Bueller in it. Thought that was pretty cool. But
Beyonce's body's not real. I'm sorry. You remember when the commercial just popped back up? You remember how we talked about after Renaissance she got work done?
Yeah,
she definitely did. Also, floor seats for Cowboy Carter are still available in Atlanta for like $400. That shit ain't selling.
But I think I told you that even last year. I mean, we ended up just kind of. Well, I went. Of course, I gave some to Briggs, and then my brother went. But it wasn't really. It wasn't a slam dunk still like Taylor Swift, which I dropped the ball and didn't get the tickets, unfortunately. But like,
if I meet a white chick who's in the country, I'm gonna take her to Cowboy Carter.
What type of reaction do you think you'll get?
Oh shit! I didn't even think about the Black Queens in there. Never mind. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I just don't want to like. That was kind of me just pulling some shit out my ass. I'm not. I'm built to deal with it if I actually like the chick. But just on some, hey, you're pretty cool. We've been hanging out. Let's go to this concert. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
That'd be almost better as a group because then it's ambiguous as to who's with who, or it's in a couple's date. It's it's 4 friends. It just so happened to be 2 guys and 2 girls.
Yeah, no, because bro, when I went to see Get Out, and I end up meeting these chicks from the SDSU track team, like we just happened to be walking in together, and we end up sitting together because it was cool, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And we leaving out, and there's a nigga with his white woman, and the way that they were, get out, nigga, get out. You didn't see the movie? You in the sucking place. And I'm like, that's hilarious, but poor fella.
Yeah, you don't want that kind of press.
Like I can't take that pause. Yeah, that's crazy.
Take that.
That's what Diddy said. I couldn't do that if you're not my girlfriend. I'm not gonna get publicly ridiculed by women who are attracted to me that I'm attracted to because I'm with you.
She could be a big Beyonce fan, though. I mean, there's that, but you know.
I mean, if she had a big Beyonce can, then that's a little bit different.
Just a little bit.
How do you feel about Devontae Adams as a Ram? You know, I got to get better at asking you questions, right? So I should have set it up like this. I was listening to a sports show, and they were talking about the Rams moving off of Cooper Kupp and acquiring Devontae Adams. And some pundits felt like that the Rams were actually taking a step back by replacing Cooper Kupp with Devontae Adams. What are your thoughts on Devontae Adams to the Rams? Do you think he's an upgrade?
I do think he's an upgrade. He's a better receiver than Cooper Kupp today. Cooper Kupp is still a good receiver. He just always gets injured. He always gets injured, and although he was a better – because the thing is that Tay Adams and Puka Nacua are a little bit more similar in terms of the type of receiver, while Cooper Kupp could – he could line up on the outside, but he's line up in the slot, And not that they can too, but like –
Tay lines up in the slot.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, they're just a little bit – they are more similar. They're bigger, more physical type wide receivers, while Cooper Kupp was more of a –
Cooper Kupp is like 6'3".
Yeah, but –
I know stylistically he's not – he doesn't appear as big as he is. Crazy to pause.
You had a lot of those today.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp is 6'2", 210. Ain't no little nigga. Awesome.
Yeah, but what's Tay Adams? 6'4", 225?
And he's a nigga.
I think it's an upgrade because as of today, he's a better receiver than him.
And they're practically the same age. Cooper Kupp's Devontae is 6'1", 215.
Really?
Yeah, but it looks
he looks a hell of a lot bigger on TV.
It's crazy.
But
here's the thing.
I didn't say on the computer. I said on TV.
Hold on. You don't watch movies on TV?
No.
Shut up. Answer that.
But
hold on.
I still think it was an upgrade overall. It was an upgrade. Matt Stafford will be able to get on the ball. I just think that it opens it up a little bit more. Kyron Williams, obviously, kind of a rising star running back. I like the move. And they're saving – I mean, they paid him more, obviously, than even what Cooper Kupp was going to get. But they save on the cap by cutting him. Cooper Kupp can get a fresh start. I would like to see Cooper Kupp in Green Bay personally. I feel like that would be the perfect place for him to go.
So here's the thing, though. When Cooper Kupp was at his peak, I still think Tay Adams was better than him. Like, I don't ever think there's been a day where Cooper Kupp lined up on a football field and a cornerback was like, hey, bro, this nigga better than Devontae. I don't believe it. And
the Triple Crown season is historically, it's got to be a top 5, top 3 wide receivers ever. Super Bowl MVP.
I mean, if you want to talk about the accolades, sure, I can't argue that with you. But For one, Matthew Stafford force feeds his favorite receiver. Sean McVay runs a great offense that schemes people open. I'm not calling Cooper Kupp a scheme receiver. I'm not calling him that. But I think what had Cooper Kupp at elite for a short period of time was the scheme. He's always been good. He's been good to great. He's good to great. But the scheme and Matthew Stafford force feeding him the ball made him elite. And they won a Super Bowl, and he had a good Super Bowl where Matthew Stafford didn't have like a crazy game to where the quarterback just gets the MVP. But do you care about do you even care about scheme with Devontae Adams? Like, he wasn't good with the Raiders because the pill
Well,
wasn't
you haven't even throwing the ball.
like he was getting open. Like, if you saw some of the clips from receivers, he's like, this man trying to kill me out here.
And guess what? Now he gets to be the backup for him in LA because he read up as well. But
He's not good.
but I like the move overall. But shifting from Devontae to his best friend, Mr. Ayahuasca himself, he still remains unsigned. And obviously, all signs point to Pittsburgh, which makes the most sense, I think, for him and for the Steelers. Mr. Turner doesn't believe that. He would rather have Russell Wilson back. But I think Aaron Rodgers is poised to have a better year next year. I wasn't even going to say a bounce back, but just a better year. I think he'll be better. If he went to Pittsburgh, I think he would have a better year because he's 1 year removed from the Achilles. Just like I expect Kirk Cousins, wherever he goes, eventually to be better than what he was, or be more what he was on the 6-3 Falcons. I expect Aaron Rodgers to be better. The Jets are a shit show organization. They fired the coach after 5 games. It was just a lot of issues there. And there wasn't much that they could do because every game became a must win at a certain point. And
they had Ulbrich running the show.
Right. And Brick, which I didn't even get to this when we were I guess it's still technically Falcons first, but Brick, he there's an audio of him out there watching Malachi Starks and basically saying, yeah.
The bank is empty.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so, here, man.
But Aaron Rodgers in general, obviously all signs point to Pittsburgh, but then even you got Florio, who is a Minnesota Vikings fan, saying that the front office is intrigued with the idea of bringing him on for a year. Because technically, JJ, although gets hurt last year before the season starts after one preseason game, he still wasn't on the field working. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't working or nothing. So, although it's a redshirt year for him, he still is technically a rookie. And maybe you would want to season him, especially with a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Plus, I just think everybody wants to see him complete the Brett Favre arc anyways. And
the Vikings won 13 games last year.
And they're talented. They've got talented pass catchers. Aaron Rodgers is familiar with Aaron Jones already, being that they were Packer teammates.
Him and Jettas can figure it out. That won't take long.
Yeah. And he's got Hawkinson, who
is a good tight end.
Yeah, very good tight end. Top 5, really, if healthy. I mean, he's top 5. So it's intriguing.
But
by the way, it also sets up for him to go to Green Bay, something I'm sure that he wants to do. You have to think that he wants to play a game there.
Yeah, no, he wants to throw for like 4 tubs in Lambeau, and God forbid he gets a chance to run one in. He's Lambeau leaping. He got some smoke for Goody. He got some smoke for LaFleur. It's all love for Jordan Love. I really think he and Jordan Love have like a decent bond relationship.
But he said that he treated it way better because he said Brett kind of treated him like shit. And he said he didn't want Jordan Love to feel like that. Plus,
But
he
Aaron,
gave him big shout out. Not to cut you, but he gave him a big shout out when they beat the Bears. They're like, what did Aaron Rodgers? He either tweeted, it was something, but he was like, basically, he's still the owner of the.
yeah.
He's the new owner of the Bears.
I mean, because at the end of the day, I think Aaron looked at it. He was mad at the organization. He wasn't mad at the player, and he just goes, "If I ball out, he still don't play. I control whether or not he plays." And he went and won 2 MVPs and went to NFC Championship, too, and lost. But
Yeah,
still,
typical Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
bye.
But if you go to a 14-win team, good defense, obviously. The defense is already set up.
Pressure.
O'Connell's offense, I don't think it'll be an issue for him. I mean, he's already basically been in that offense. So
He's been in the floor offense.
It lines up pretty well. He loves beating Detroit. Think about it, Detroit, that reign didn't start until he left, in reality.
Yeah.
It kind of ended that way because they beat them to kick them out of the playoffs in his last game there. But
we knew what it was. We knew what it was before that game started. Because I mean, Jordan Love was approaching year 3, and they're going to have to make a decision on his 5th-year option. So Aaron was gone, even if he was Super Bowl MVP, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Because he was so old. But Shefty was he had his panties in a wad about Aaron Rodgers, didn't he?
what did he? I didn't see it.
Oh man, Shefty went off about pretty much the saying
Holding it hostage. I think I read it. I didn't see it though.
So yeah, he did a video on it, and here's my problem with Aaron Rodgers coverage. Nobody in the media is as good at Aaron Rodgers as what he does versus the competition and what they do and have as many available options to choose and have enough money to say that if I don't like any of this, I can walk away and my life doesn't change. Because Shefty can only work for NFL Network, Fox. He can barely work for Fox. Shefty can really only work for ESPN or be independent. And I don't know if Shefty independently can turn the numbers that he could generate the numbers that he can at ESPN, because what are we going to do? Are we going to subscribe to get breaking news by Shefty when other guys would just subscribe to it and break it for free 10 seconds later?
Yeah, it would kind of be like when Woj got replaced by Shams.
Yeah,
it's not that Woj wasn't great at what he did. It's just once he didn't want to do it anymore, ESPN came in and got the next guy, and he's doing the same thing. Just like when we were all shocked about the Luka fucking trade.
Yeah. But if you think about it, Florio and Glazer, that's crazy. They are better. They are more reliable, trusted reporters than Shefty. They don't put out the volume that Shefty does as far as breaking stories, but they actually break the important shit. Who cares about Leonard Floyd signing with the Falcons? Florio broke that Schultz and what's my man's name from NFL Network? Their guy. Ian
Rappaport?
Yeah. That Rappaport and Schultz got into a fight at the Starbucks. Hold on, you can't fight me in my establishment, bro. This is my legacy.
Yeah, Glazer literally, and he was on Ballers. I don't know if you remember, but he fits more of what it is that those guys do. You could tell that he's in a weird way. You wouldn't be shocked to see Glazer out there actually at the Reuben party.
Well,
and getting real details and talking to these dudes, and they're being like, man, because it's bullshit going on here, and then he's also gonna do it tastefully.
Well, yeah, because Jake Laser, he runs the gym that guys work out at. So he gets information and he gets to sit with it because he's not pressured to deliver the breaking news when the breaking news happens. He just gets to break stories and drop tea leaves because he's getting the information organically from the source. Whereas like your Schefters, your Wojs, your Shams,
The agents are calling them.
they're getting information from agents, GMs, and owners. I prefer the guy to get the information from the players. That's why Chris Haynes is my favorite NBA reporter. Because Chris Haynes is a nigga who be talking to niggas and they fuck with Haynes. So that's why Haynes be getting information. Shams is on clutch. So Rich is just feeding him information because Rich is doing the business.
Well, he gets paid off of it.
And what's my man's name? Woj. He was the GM owner guy. Like, what player do you really think is like what player with clout is talking to Woj?
Nobody's texting Woj and being like, KD's not texting Woj and being like, man, this is some bullshit. Like,
but Dame is texting Chris Haynes or calling Chris Haynes. Man, you hear this bullshit, man? These niggas talking about, bro. They know I want to go to Miami, bro. Just let me go. We ain't winning. I don't think Shefty's getting that conversation from the positions that we like. That's crazy.
Again, you're on a roll today, sir.
Yeah,
I don't think you've ever done this many in one sitting.
And I'm not even doing them on purpose. That's crazy too.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Now, this might be the most effortless podcast we've ever done.
You, sir, are just stepping in it.
That's what she said. Saquon got some more money. Did we talk about that last week? Okay. The Eagles.
I mean, good for him. It's deserving, honestly, but
you know what? You did this. That's enough. Ken Pickett said he's competing for a starting job.
Yeah, until Kirk Cousins arrives, then it's no longer competing for a starting job. It's, hey, if he gets hurt again like he did last year, we need you to be ready to step in. We don't think you're Michael Penix, but we would like for you to be able to step in.
Do you think Ken Pickett could beat out Deshaun Watson in a practice quarterback competition? Obviously, Deshaun's not playing because of his Achilles.
Yeah.
But do you think he could beat Deshaun out? I don't think he could beat him out.
No, I don't either. But the thing is, too, with Deshaun, is he going to show up and actually want to care when he's there? Because I think it's more of a Cleveland thing for him. I think that there's obviously something wrong, but I feel like he's almost depressed playing for the Browns. Like, he took the money when he probably should have just came home. And it just psychologically had a lot on him with all the stuff.
Well, based on his performance, I'm happy he didn't come home.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but who knows? It could have been different, maybe.
Yeah, but we got Penix.
I'm happy with how everything turned out. I'm just saying it could have maybe been different, though, for him.
That's fair. What else happened in free agency that matters? Daniel Jones to the Colts, quarterback competition of the two worst quarterbacks in the league last year.
You know, they would be a good team to have on Hard Knocks.
Well, Irsay's a fucking nutcase, so yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They'd be a good team to have. And I can't help but feel like Ballard, Shane Steichen. I feel like these guys they're kind of walking on eggshells a little because if they go 7-10 again, I mean,
is Ballard a good GM? I think he is.
What's his track record show?
Well, Gus Bradley.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to get guys to sign in Indianapolis.
Yeah, and he took that job with Andrew Luck being his quarterback.
Yeah, and every year they parlayed over to a new guy. What? It was Philip Rivers, then Carson Wentz, then Matt Ryan, then Brissett, then
Gardner Minshew and AR.
yeah, I mean,
AR, Joe Flacco. No, yeah, AR and Joe Flacco last year.
yeah, and didn't that typically dictate a GM's performance? Do you get the quarterback right? That almost is really.
My thing is, what opportunities for quarterback did you have? Like he couldn't play. He wasn't in the Kirk Cousins game because they already had Anthony Richardson going into year 2, right? You can't make that move. When he signed Philip Rivers, who was on the market that fit into their cap structure?
Here, keep talking. I'm about to pull up something.
Just the more and more I think about it, Ballard definitely hasn't done well at quarterback. But outside of drafting Anthony Richardson, I don't know that he's had good options.
Well, and many believe that it was a reach for him to draft him, and that's what I'm pulling up now. I'm trying to see who is it that they could have had at 4.
Everybody believes that was a reach because Anthony Richardson did not play enough football at Florida. He did not play enough good football at Florida for me to want to take him in the top 10. I wouldn't take Anthony Richardson before round 3 personally. Anthony Richardson was a 3rd-round quarterback when he came out. A guy with potential, all the measurables, but had not played enough and had not shown it enough on the field consistently.
Well, quarterback-wise, I'm looking at the draft now. Obviously, this is the Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud year, and he's taken 3rd. I don't know who the free agents were that year, but they weren't going to draft Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs. They could have drafted Jalen Carter. They could have drafted Devin Witherspoon. Probably wouldn't have drafted JSN or Zay Flowers.
No.
And that's pretty much it. I'm looking at this. I'm trying to see, was there anyone else that was just like, because Will Levis is the next quarterback taken. So
no. Anthony Richardson is a better draft pick than Will Levis, even if Will Levis turns out to be a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson, which I think they're both so bad that it doesn't matter. But yeah. Anthony Richardson is the choice there. Will Levis couldn't win the job at Penn State over a non-NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
The Saints have brought back their pass rush.
I loved it.
Chase Young and the nigga with the weird mustache. The guy with the most sacks against Matt Ryan. I can't think of his name.
I was about to say Will Smith, but obviously he got killed. He did. He got murdered. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
But he was always opposite of him. I know who. Yeah.
94.
Yeah.
The guy who's the tight end in Miami had his name backwards.
Cam Jordan.
Yes. Cam Jordan.
Cam Jordan's still a productive player, though.
Yeah. Because you remember Jordan Cameron was the tight end.
Yeah. He's going to be good on TV.
Cam Jordan?
Yeah. Him and Matt Ryan had a lot of – and obviously they know each other, of course.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But that's good banter because Cam Jordan can also talk shit to Matt Ryan. But then Matt Ryan can be like, yeah, I'm still MVP. I played in the Super Bowl. You weren't there in 07, 08, whatever year that was.
Right. You only attended to watch.
Malik Monk looks like he skipped showers.
Is it because of the beard?
The beard, the hair. He looks like he smokes backwoods and skips showers.
Are they on TV?
Yeah.
Because they're playing the Warriors, right?
Uh-huh.
What's the score?
79-70 Warriors. The Warriors were up like 20 at half, but Monk and them got it going.
Steph Curry cooking?
I'm not really watching the game. It's just like on. And when we get to like certain points, I might look down at it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I like to give you eye contact when we do these shows.
Well, I appreciate that, Lee. I don't know what to make of that, but I appreciate it. You're saying you're paying attention. I get it. Yeah.
Oh shit. What else in free agency? Because it's almost 12 o'clock.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's 11:37 now.
See, I don't see the time on here either. You know, there are other linemen signings. I guess Denver got Greenlaw and Funga. Those are really good picks, especially for a defense that was already pretty good.
Yeah, if those guys
are pretty good pickups.
If they can make it on the field, great. Philly gutted their defense. I think I don't question.
Did they really gut it? Like, even with the dude Milton, Jordan Davis is just going to step in and be.
Look here.
Him and Jalen Carter now. Like, it's just them. I mean, so.
I don't question anything that Howie does because Howie is not GMing year to year. So they may be an 8-win team next year.
They won't be.
I know, but I'm saying they may be an 8-win team next year. And the media will be mad, but nobody inside the building will be worried. It's like, we lost our OC. We lost a couple coaches. We had to get rid of some players who cost too much, but we're going to draft this year. We're going to draft next year. We'll sign some guys, you know, and we'll be back in 2 years. But we're going for a 9-8. Let Washington win the division, crawl into the playoffs, get beat first round, maybe second round because we're a little frisky and people are afraid of us because we're champions. But we're not trying to win the Super Bowl this year. We're trying to win it next year. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of how Philly operates. Like, they are actually long-term planning and like looking at the seasons where it makes sense for them to like try to actually win. Because again, Howie has so much equity in that organization. Again, this guy lost his job in personnel and came back.
Yeah.
That like when Howie was when Chip Kelly took over, Howie was supposed to leave Philly and go to another organization. But again, that speaks to why he's the best GM in the league, and Philly may be the best organization in the league today.
Definitely best GM owner tandem, no doubt. I don't think it's close.
Yeah, no. Jeffrey Lurie was like, well,
Shanahan and Lynch would be second.
No. Kroenke and the guy we let leave. Golly, what's the Rams GM name?
Snead.
And Snead, yeah, they're better than San Fran. They're better than San Fran.
You're right. I said Shanahan. I'm thinking head coach GM. Yeah, owner GM. Yeah.
Well, head coach GM, Los Angeles is better than San Fran too.
I mean, they certainly have a ring to show for it, right?
Yeah, but also San Fran has some nasty misses, like Solomon Thomas, Trey Lance.
Hey, but they covered that shit up real well with the guys that got the last pick.
They covered it up, but I mean, they offloaded the Debo contract. They want to get rid of Ayuk. Like, San Fran is winning, but they're both overrated.
We didn't even say anything about the Commanders. Obviously, they get Debo, and then they get Laramie Tunsil, which makes you really wonder. And I know Laramie Tunsil, every time I looked up, it seemed like he was getting called for holding, but really makes you wonder what the fuck's going on in Houston, because I guess they're not bringing Diggs back. He's still a free agent. Who do they get? They did sign a wide receiver.
Nobody I care about.
It wasn't. Yeah, it's a downgrade. That's what I'm saying. It was definitely a downgrade. But they already had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL last year. So,
well, why continue to spend money for an older player who had his most penalized year last year, which probably tells them he's lost a step or three.
Could be because the rest of the O-line was shit around him. And they got a decent little return. They got like a second, a fourth, a fifth, and like a sixth, and like a third pick swap or something.
Yeah, I just think they wanted to get off of the money, and maybe they find a player who's not as good, but they can get more players to make the unit better.
Sure.
Who else?
And that division is no man's land anyways. They'll probably win it again just because they do have C.J. Stroud. But it's just weird because Tank Dell, they're saying he's going to miss all of next year.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Collins is a good receiver, but gosh, I mean, I'm not trying to say he'll get injured again, but certainly when guys start getting injured, you start to look at it like, well, I hope this isn't like a theme. And I get it. I feel like with a guy like Diggs, I don't know. I forgot what they gave up to get Diggs, but why wouldn't you want to just bring Diggs back? Maybe they'll sign Cooper Kupp.
Side note, Aisha Curry has gotten a lot of face work done, and it's like just too obvious. She looks great, but it's just too obvious.
Are you saying she looks better now?
I'm saying
that keep talking.
The way her cheekbones look and the way her lips are, you can just tell there's a lot of Botox and filler and shit in there. It doesn't look bad. And if I made Steph Curry money, I'm sure my wife would do the same thing.
Yeah, what I did was I'm on her Instagram just so I could look at her now. You're absolutely right. You could tell she's starting to look more like a
Kardashian.
Yeah, well, but like a hotter mom.
Yeah, she's starting to, yeah, she's looking like a racial ambiguous woman who lives in California.
Yeah.
You know, Steph Curry doesn't get enough credit for being a nappy-headed nigga.
The nappy-headed nigga, huh?
I mean, he's up there in the KD level of nappy hair.
You think KD gives a fuck about what you have to say, Lee?
No, but he might respond to it because he's single with no kids, so he has time. But like, I'm a KD fan, so like, I don't even like to shit on KD on this platform, even if like he deserves it, because I'm just a KD fan. I look at KD and I just think he just plays the most purest form of basketball when it comes to just playing basketball. I'm not talking about winning and losing. I'm talking about just playing basketball, winning your matchup, doing what you do really well.
Isn't it sad that somehow him and Kyrie didn't win it? Like because Kyrie's another one that's just like him in that respect. Oh shit!
They got hurt, and then the city of New York wouldn't let Kyrie play because of the vaccine. You know, like it was just. I mean, if
with
KD,
James Harden too, another just like
remember KD,
it's so, but it's just so crazy. Like, but team just didn't materialize enough.
But think about how close they were. If KD's foot, his toe was not over the line.
If he wears a size 14 instead of 16 or whatever size he wears.
That 3 happens, and they go to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Hawks with a hurt. They smoke us, and then they go to the finals against the Suns. They probably beat that Suns team.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I hate what's going to happen to our era of sports when we're no longer talking about it. And not like me and you, but our generation.
Yeah.
Because people are going to speak about the results without the proper context because they didn't watch it happen, which is why, you know, we don't really talk about players and music, anything back in the day, because yeah, you can watch the games, but you can't speak to the impact. And if you can't really speak to the cultural impact, shut up. You know, like I don't speak on Dipset because I was not interested in Dipset when they were Dipset. I can go back and listen to the music and say, "Oh yeah, no, this shit rocks." But what made Dipset great was their cultural impact too. And because I can't relate to the cultural impact, Dipset doesn't sit as high for me as they probably should based upon how I feel about their music.
They weren't even the most. Uh, they weren't even the best like group slash kind of record label ish in their own city though either. Like,
Who you gonna put over them?
well, Rockefeller, no doubt.
Well, they were signed to Rockefeller.
Yeah, I know, well, not always though, not the entire time.
Yeah, true.
And
I
some
wouldn't
could
call
maybe argue. I wouldn't. I think overall they're better than G Unit, but like then some people might say G Unit. I guess
bro.
they're because it is the same air.
Yeah,
But
I was just so deep into Southern music at that point in my life. Like we're talking about the 2000s. If it's not on the radio, I don't need to hear it because we had so much music back then. Jeezy, Gucci, T.I., Luda, them
well,
franchise
the South was
boys.
running everything still. Then that's when the South
Outkast was
dominance
still
started.
like Outkast was still active. The random crank that niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like we had so much music down here that's like
Lil Jon.
look, yeah, but the Lil Jon era.
Yeah, crunk music, crunk and trap
Yeah, it's like, bro,
and
I don't.
snap. Crunk. Think of it. Oh, think about that. Crunk, trap, snap.
And that's kind of the time that all of those were kind of doing their own things or building up. Hey, I'm sorry, Cam. Yeah, you slid on that verse. Didn't hear it. Young Capone, he hopped on that one song and we rather hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know you're a better rapper than Young Capone.
I was more interested in hearing Andre 3000's verse on "Walk It Out" and Two Step and
These.
Yep, throw some D's. I was about to say, yeah.
I was more interested in hearing them random niggas from the east side making them snapping pop songs, nigga. Like, what we talking about?
That Urkel dance.
I think we're done.
Yeah, I think we pretty much hit every topic that we needed to hit, except one last thing, which I guess this is a good way to sign it off. Anyways, you gonna stay up to see if the sky is red?
What time is it supposed to be red?
So it might be even going on right now, but I think the official when it's at its peak or whatever will be like 2 a.m.
No. I'm trying to wake up at 5 a.m. when my alarm goes off in the morning and get up because that's my gym alarm, but not go to the gym, go to the office and get a bunch of work done and leave that bitch at 12, then go to the gym and then go home and do nothing.
I feel it.
Yeah, because you're dadding this weekend, right?
I sure am. I'm picking up Mari from school, and then the weekend begins for us. We're gonna make spaghetti tomorrow night.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm amped.
I'm gonna try to set something up. I probably shouldn't talk about this on the podcast, but who cares? 2 weeks. I would like to do something with our daughters.
Okay.
Because they haven't even met, have they? Or Lo was
when you brought Lo over, I don't even know I don't think that Mari was living there.
I don't.
They were either in New York.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. Cause
Yeah, well, I know.
because you remember, yeah.
that were over that day. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were like all apologetic to me on the side, and I'm like,
I just didn't want because look.
right, I know
I know how that can
no.
go. It's visualizing it, you know.
Yeah, no, bro, I already know, and you know, that's one of those ones that was gonna be a short conversation no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if it spoke to me being at your crib, right?
Yeah.
What other weekend? I'm like, grown ass man, how the fuck I'm gonna tell him to come to his house?
Right.
Nigga, you like I'm a guest, and you are like a real guest. Like you are my plus one. Like you're not invited here. You're only here because I'm here.
Right.
So how and she did not do any of that stuff to try to say she didn't complain or anything. Like, oh, you just be nothing. But point being is I'm not entertaining that conversation about what happens in another grown man's house because it's not my house. I can't control that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga, I'll talk to you later. I might call you.
All right. Salutations, good people.
Hey, another great week. This was fun.
As always.
All right, Doc.
All right, bro.